What's up, and welcome back to Kinda Funny's Alien and Predator in review. Of course, I'm your host who did not get the memo, Tim Geddes. I'm joined today by Andy Cortez.
Danny boy.
No, what's
That's not that. That's not
well,
this
what's this one?
Over here. Over here. Over
And you can laugh too.
Greg Miller.
Tim, this shit'll make you a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Damn.
Wow, they still make this. That's kind of wild.
I mean, Amazon will get you anything.
You know
what
they
I
made Big
mean?
League Chew? I love
This
Big
is
Put
an
a
League.
shoe in there. Put it
in-
right in there.
This expires February 6th, 1987.
there we go. There we go. Rounding out the group, of course, it's the producer/seducer, Nick
Gotta
Scarpino.
put it in your-
bleeds, we can kill it.
Holy crap, what a line. That seems like one of your plot opening lines.
Oh, it's the line from this movie.
Holy crap,
That and
it's
Get to
cool.
the Chopper are the two
Oh,
probably
of course.
iconic
And,
lines in my opinion.
I know we're jumping ahead just a little bit. I've never seen this movie.
Wow.
But like we always talk about, Andy, I've seen Family Guy, so I have seen this movie. But more than that, I've been friends with Nick Scarpino for the majority of my life at this point. So I know so much about this that I did not know was from this.
Oh, yeah.
You must be so happy to finally be talking about this movie officially here.
Very happy. I'm very happy for you to experience it and really understand the deeper levels of me.
Yeah. I think I get all the depths now.
All of
You
it.
know what I mean?
Well, we saw it for the first time when James and Elise Williams were here.
Mhm.
That's when I first saw it. We had a little watch party out there. And I finally got to hear, "You've been pushing too many pencils." And I'm like, man, Nick's been saying that forever. That's from this movie?
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Oh, it's so good.
What's the matter,
so
Dylan?
powerful.
CA's got you pushing too many pencils.
I'm sure we're going to hear that a lot today.
He was an
This
artist.
Is in
Rest in
review.
peace.
Each and every week we get together to rank, review, and recap different movie franchises. Right now we are doing Alien and Predator thanks to a lot of demand. So thank you so much for showing up for the... I don't even know what's happening anymore.
No, I
Some-
don't
We're
want
discussing
you to
how
come on
good
mic.
Big League Chew is.
But
Yeah.
it's like, I don't want you on the mic, but it's so
But I
tasty.
want it in my jaw.
You gotta do the whole thing.
The Jesse Ventura. The Jesse
yeah.
Ventura.
Good
there.
Lord, everybody. Like I was
nasty
saying, we're
habit.
doing Alien and Predator. This week, we're doing Predator. Next week, we're doing Predator 2. And coming up, this is a screencast, but it will be on the in-review feed,
right there, Big Dog.
as all things will going forward. If it's movies, TV, or trailer, it will be on the in-review podcast feed. Daredevil, Born Again, 2-episode premiere, March 4th, I think it is. We will be doing a review of that. But if y'all show up and if we're liking the show, we want to do it every week. So just letting y'all know now, show up, share it with your friends if that is what you want to see. But for the in-review, it's going to be Predator and then Alien for the next couple weeks. So Predator this week, Predator 2, Alien 3, and then Alien Resurrection. Are those the titles of these
Sounds
movies?
right.
Alien 3, Alien Resurrection. Yeah.
There we go. So that's the lineup going forward.
I rented the wrong movie.
You
saw
you
that.
actually did. You rented The Predator.
I mean,
Not even the one with Adrian Brody. It's the Predator was the
I just
that
looked
Boyd
up-
We'll get to
Holbrook
that.
one.
I looked at The Predator. The box image looked very nostalgic. Like,
Yeah,
the-
it's him with the. I think it's the. It's
no
just the Predator
man,
with the
no
thing
man.
on,
The
right?
cover art looked like the heat vision and everything. I'm like, yeah, this looks like the movie. I just didn't look at the date.
Gotcha.
And I open it up, and it's the most like futuristic CGI ship in the sky flying and in a war fight. And that's for future spoilers. But I was like, oh my god, did they George Lucas and like redo this intro?
Yeah.
I had no idea this even happened. Maybe this is a version that nobody wants to ever watch. And then he lands, and it's like The Predator. I'm like, man, okay, this is interesting. And then it keeps on going. I'm like, no, this is not the right movie. And I go back to like 2016, The Predator. Damn it.
They
Oops.
didn't really do themselves
Add
a lot
the
of.
the.
Yeah, they have it's Predator, Predator 2, The Predator, Predators is another one that we're gonna watch. So yeah, it's confusing.
Okay.
I'm excited to find out how it all connects. I'm excited to see how
through
it
the
connects
Predator.
to Alien. The Predator, that's the link?
Yeah, they're all the Predators in all of these.
Got it.
It's him. It's
the
his
titular
doing.
Predator, of course. If you love what we do, you can get the Kind of Funny membership, and it gets you the show ad-free. You can watch live as we record it, and you get a daily exclusive Greg Way. Today's Greg Way is Greg giving his deep thoughts, deeper thoughts on Captain America: Brave New World. You were at DICE, so you didn't get to watch it with us
Correct.
when we did in review. So the Greg Way will be going through all that, but I do have an update for everybody. Greg has submitted his vote for where he places Cap 4, Oh, we'll be back there not too long from now. Rebirth, baby.
Hey,
It's called Rebirth. Reborn. Jurassic World. We're back.
I thought he was singing Indiana Jones.
I hate you.
Like there's no way we're going.
Worldies never
Maybe
forget.
John Williams
you
wasn't
know?
that great.
Good Lord, everybody. If we could bring up the MCU rankings, Barrett, please, that would be fantastic. Thank you so very, very much. We have an update.
I went as long as I could. I can't see a goddamn thing.
Coming in at number 41 on our overall, we have Captain America, Brave New World, underneath Captain Marvel, and above X-Men. The rankings for that where we put them goes as follows. I had it at 39, Greg at 28, 27, Nick at 37, Andy at 43.
Watched it again.
We did watch it again. On the interview, I'm like, this is one of the Marvel movies I'm not going to watch again. But then people got me all excited. They're like, yo, we can watch it in 40X. I'm like, I'm fucking there. Name the time and place. And Andy, did you enjoy it more or less?
Well, I mean, it's the hardest I've laughed in forever because of how aggressive these seats were shaking. At a point...
When Red Hulk shows up, that can't be good.
Oh my God, Greg. At a point near the end of the movie, I'm grabbing the armrest and it is soaked. And I'm like, did the water sprayer leak or some shit? It's just all my soda. All over the place, all over my... Dude, it was a disaster.
Joey said at one point she felt as though someone were punching her in the back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's a moment where somebody gets stabbed or something like that, and you feel a little pokey thing in your back. We're like, oh my God. It was fucking hilarious. And then during all of that sort of crazy ruckus, I lean over to Roger. I'm like, why do they tell us to silence our phones? Like, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares what we're doing?
Who
cares what we're doing on our phones when we're just... Dude, it was...
They're pumping smoke into the room,
It
lights
was
flashing.
insane. It was crazy. That's the only reason why I liked it more this time around.
I know I missed it the first go around. There's a Greg way up. I just want to throw out here how charming Anthony Mackie is, though. You know what I mean? I love Anthony Mackie.
He's doing his hardest.
He's doing his hardest, everybody. But that is for MCU in Review. Let's get back to what it's all about today. Predator. Of course, shout out to our Patreon producers, James Hastings, Casey Andrew, Casey Kern, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Karen Lindner. Today we're brought to you by Built Rewards, Factor, and Stash. But we'll tell you all about that later. Let's get into it. Predator. So cool, man.
So sick.
Released on June 12th, 1987, about a year after Aliens, for context on this one. Watching this when it first started, I was like, I wonder where they kind of fell. And I would have thought Aliens came after.
Really?
There's something about Aliens, just the vibes of it, maybe just the James Cameron of it all, that like,
JC.
it feels a little bit more modern than this one did to me. Am I off on that?
I don't think you're wrong.
Interesting.
I don't think... I'm kind of there with you.
This feels real. All right.
Yeah, this does feel real.
Have you ever been
real to
Have
me.
you ever been hunted in a jungle, Tim? Doesn't sound like it.
This one had a runtime of 1 hour and 47 minutes. It was directed...
I was flabbergasted. And when we went, I turned on fucking Tubi. Because goddamn, all these movies left Hulu. I haven't chasing them around like
Oh, that's why.
trying to catch a
Man.
goddamn patapon out there, trying to figure out where they Tubi. I had to get a Tubi account. Great, awesome. Anyways,
Tubi
though,
one more time.
Tubi, just like movie. But I was like on hour 47, and Jen's like, "Yeah, why?" I'm like, "Cause they start getting hunted by the predator like right away, right? How does it go on this long? I mean, it moved fine, but it was
yeah,
like,
no, I am with you. I feel like in retrospect, I'm with you. Where, goddamn, the movie flew by for sure.
yeah,
How is it that long?
yeah."
What happens that long? I don't know.
It's that good.
Like it's crazy, man. Directed by John McTiernan, and I normally don't read this much of a Wikipedia entry, but because normally I'm just like, oh, known for this, known for that. There's a lot here.
Oh, John's known for a lot of things.
Do you know about this? Because I didn't know shit, Andy.
Yeah, John's caught a couple charges.
So
Oh.
I'm just gonna read this just because like some of the words just like surprised me. Directed by John McTiernan, an American former filmmaker best known for his action films including Predator, Die Hard, and The Hunt for Red October. He pled guilty in 2006 to lying to an FBI investigator. The judgment was vacated, after which he pled guilty in 2007 to the original charge and an additional charge of perjury in regard to his hiring of the private investigator in late 2000 to illegally wiretap the phone calls of two people, one of whom was Charles Roven, a co-producer of his action film remake Rollerball.
Rollerball.
He did Rollerball in 2002?
Well, yes, the LL Cool J, Rebecca Romaine.
Oh, wow.
Wild. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Wasn't
Chris
Paul Heyman in
Klein-
that too?
What's that?
I think Paul Heyman was in
Oh,
that
I'm
as
sure
well.
Paul
Really?
Heyman.
That's-
I thought so, right?
It wasn't a
We
movie
probably should
that a
have
lot
that-
of people went to theaters to see. We'll just put it that way. I don't remember it doing especially well.
We probably should have watched that after Balls of Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Just
in
keep
there.
the
He's in
balls rolling.
Yeah.
He was incarcerated in federal prison from 2013 to 2014. During his imprisonment, he filed for bankruptcy amidst foreclosure proceedings for his large ranch residence. He did not return to directing feature films after his run of failed films, his time dealing with the courts and serving his prison sentence. In 2017, he directed an advertisement for Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Nice.
Like that's
Hell
the
yeah.
end of the opening paragraph.
Hell
Like
yeah.
so much shit that Ghost Recon Wildlands.
At the end of the film, he was like, God, I want to do more crimes.
I think it's worth pointing out though that obviously John McTiernan was marred in controversy there for a while, and I don't necessarily think it was that killed his career. I think he just had like you mentioned, the string of sort of badder movies that he started turning out. But there is something to be said for that 3-run streak that he went on, because following Predator up with Die Hard and arguably making the 2 greatest action films ever made, and then going on that and starting off the John Clancy universe with The Hunt for October, which I don't know if you know that that's John Clancy, but that was Alec Baldwin as Jack Ryan, the
Tom
original
Clancy?
Tom Clancy. Sorry, what did I say?
Oh, he's cooking. He's cooking.
Yeah, yeah.
The second time you screw up, it's fine.
Sorry.
Don't
So Alec Baldwin
Clancy
as
Brown.
piece of shit.
starting the role of Jack Ryan, and then of course Harrison Ford would go on to do it in a few movies, and then Affleck did it once, and
The bomb is in play.
yeah, Krasinski did it in the
It wasn't
series.
the
So,
Russians.
if you've never seen Hunt for October, if you've never seen Die Hard, obviously you've probably seen Die Hard, but if you've never seen Hunt for October, it is a phenomenal.
Do you know I've
movie.
never seen it?
Really?
Yeah,
I think
it was one of those
really
things
like
where
it.
I was not old enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh, it looks like a boring submarine
Yep.
movie, and so I never went and saw it.
It
But
is-
I mean, I've seen clips of it.
Is this the one ping only?
One
ping only.
I
Yes.
only ever knew it as like, because it was always shown on HBO when I was really into Metal Gear Solid 1.
Sure.
And to me, just the title, The Hunt for Red October, sounded like the coolest espionage war thing ever. Like,
Well, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
The Red October is a submarine.
Oh shit!
and the United States Navy and the Russians. It's a rogue submarine that goes.
wasn't
It
the
goes rogue basically, and they have to figure out. But Alec Baldwin's character is like, I don't think he's going to attack us. I think he's trying to defect, but they can't communicate with it. So as they're being hunted down by the Russian Navy, he's like, you got to get me on a sub. You got to get me on the Dallas, which is fucking sick.
That's even
And
cool.
Scott Glenn's the captain, and he has like, it's all this crazy shit, and he has to basically figure out, because he's a historian of the captain of the submarine. He's like, I wrote a paper on him, and I'm a CIA analyst. And he's like, well, you got to get your ass out there and basically avert World War III, because they think this guy's going to go launch nukes off the coast of New York. It is the coolest fucking thing ever. And it is one of those movies I always come back to. I'm like, the use of color in the movie is so fucking rad, because one
You
bridge
probably
is
use
red,
red.
one bridge is blue, and one bridge is green.
You know where
just
they are.
where you're at. It's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Music was
Green
done.
November, not as cool.
Yeah.
Green June.
Green October.
Green June. Music was done by Alan Silvestri. Does anyone here know who Alan?
I know this
Silvestri
name.
is?
I don't know why though.
He did
You're
the
gonna tell me.
well. I could have swore he did Die Hard, because I could have swore he did a lot of Joel Silver stuff, and I need to look that up still, because I'm pretty sure he did Last Action Hero and a few other things. But I'm pretty sure in recent times he has done the Avengers.
He is the man behind dun 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 dun.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
All the Avengers stuff. He also did Back to the Future,
Yay.
Yes,
which is pretty damn impressive. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? A whole bunch of other things.
the song for that one?
The Bodyguard.
Yes,
I'm a rabbit who
yeah,
fucks
Predator.
this woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what that fucking
It's the
movie
chorus.
Budget for this one was
spoken word.
$18 million, a box office of $98.3 million. And then for awards, another interesting Wikipedia entry for this one. When it came time to recognize The Predator with an Academy Award nomination, the combination of techniques used had the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences officials unsure as to which category The Predator belonged. The mechanical features of the character's head suggested the makeup effects category, but due to the camouflage effect, there was a visual effects aspect to the character as well. Ultimately, Stan Winston was nominated for an Oscar for Predator in the Best Visual Effects category, just as he had for Aliens, but he and his co-nominees lost to the effects team from Inner Space. Though in the same year, the Academy had categorized the Predator creature as a visual effect, it honored Rick Baker with an Oscar in the Best Makeup category for his work on Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh.
This was despite the fact that Harry had been achieved in exactly the same way that Predator had, with the performer wearing a suit and a mechanical head. In
I'm
fact,
not gonna lie. This is the first time I lost my respect for the Oscars as a kid. You know, this is
where it started.
John Tesh was talking about this on Entertainment Tonight. I couldn't believe my eyes.
the same actor, Kevin Peter Hall, was the Predator
Damn.
and Harry.
And did you spot him in this movie at all? He's the
Predator.
helicopter pilot
Oh.
at the very end of the movie. They threw him in there like, you should
That's
be
fun.
We should show your face.
He's
That's
the
cool.
helicopter?
yeah, yes.
I miss the days. I miss the days when being tall was just that was it, man.
Well,
You
do
can
you
do anything
know
you want.
do you
You can
guys
do
know the
anything you want.
trivia of the actual Predator? Like, do you know the story behind who
He's
originally
an
played the
alien.
Predator?
Oh no.
So originally they were like,
ACVD.
they wanted Jean-Claude Van Damme, and they cast him. And the original, if you look, there's actually footage from some of the documentaries of what the Predator looked like, and it looked like this god-awful bug-like thing with like a platypus like snout
It
kind of
looked,
thing.
what it looked like is an enemy that the Power Rangers would fight in like episode 4
Yeah.
in the 90s.
Okay.
Like it looked that
Say no more.
rough.
It was very bad, and they cast Jean-Claude Van Damme basically just to have his name in it, and he quit after a few days because he was like, you're not going to be able to know it's me. There's no point in having me in this film. And also Jean-Claude Van Damme is not a very tall guy. So opposite of Arnold Schwarzenegger, they're like, this is not going to be menacing at all. So they cast Kevin Peter Hall, and they had Stan Winston redesign the mask basically. And there's a famous story where he was on a plane with James Cameron at the time, and he was like, they want me to design this thing, and they were like talking, and Cameron's like, oh, you should do this thing. And apparently he based it off of like a Rastafarian warrior that he had seen in Joel Silver's office, and Cameron gave him some input of like, I think you should put mandibles on it because I always wanted to see something with mandibles. And he's like, okay. So Cameron, tongue in cheek, takes full credit for the design of the
I love
Predator.
that.
Yeah.
Stand the man, Winston, man. Just doing it all, dude.
But it is wild to think that movie would have been, it would have not, I mean, it wouldn't have come out. It would have been so cheesy, and it looked like a bad,
I mean, the way he moved, it
B-movie
was just
sci-fi
like
thing, yeah.
real bad. Like,
And then you see,
Wait, so like, there's actual like footage?
Oh,
of
yeah.
it?
oh yeah, you can see if you type in original Predator like red suit, I want to say, you'll see it walking around, and it just looks very, 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 very bad.
and there's
I love
actual movement of it as well in the videos. Where
Yeah,
he
like it's
just,
running around the bush at some point.
This guy's a
Almost-
doofus.
It looks so stupid. Yeah.
Wow.
So you
Look
cut-
at like that's how it looks.
Yeah, here we go. We
Here
brought
it
it
is.
up. This actually might
No,
just
no,
be
that-
Predator.
that's
him.
not-
That's actually the Predator. That's how they did some of these effects because they'd use red because they couldn't green or blue screen out.
That one. Yeah. The one that the sort of previs footage of it looked very like
I'm sending it to Assets.
bug like or something.
There we go.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that. And if they had gone with that, I don't think we would be talking about this movie. I think we would be talking about this movie in the same way we'd be talking about like Eraser or
Look at that.
look at how bad that looks. It just looks like a bug. And then, of course, to go from that to arguably one of the most iconic like sci-fi horror monsters ever made is pretty cool.
Nick, we got to start with you. How many times have you seen this movie?
I can't even tell you. I watch it once a year minimum.
Like,
I
was
would
this?
imagine.
I mean, you were very young.
This is seven.
You were
seven.
Yeah.
I saw this in theaters.
Wow.
You've talked about this. Holy crap! Now that I've seen this movie, you saw this when you were
Yeah,
7
I
in
distinctly
theaters.
remember being like, I think those people are skinned alive. Like I didn't really understand the concept, but I was
That's
like, this is
crazy,
fucking
man.
terrifying.
Eating your popcorn.
No,
Your
I had a
candies.
popcorn. I guarantee I had a popcorn, a giant regular soda, and Reese's peanut butter cups, and I was just happy as a clam. This movie is arguably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, action films ever made. It is start to finish pretty perfect. And it is an enduring classic because of that. And it's interesting that you said that this feels older than Aliens, because to me, this has a timeless nature to it, specifically because of the way it was shot, because of the concept of it is so cool and streamlined. And this is going to sound like a pun, but there's literally no fat on this movie whatsoever. And there's no fat on the actors either, hence the pun. But this just starts, we're in it. It's a little bit of setup, then we're in the jungle, and then the Predator's killing them one by one, and then we have the face-off, and then we just have that phenomenal shot where I would argue is the best acting Arnold Schwarzenegger's ever done in this final shot where he just looks dead as he's staring out into the void, and you're like, is he dead? And he just moves his eyes for a second, and then we're done. We're out. I love this film. I could watch this film all the time, any day. It's one of those where it's on, you got to keep watching it kind of things, and one of my proudest moments was showing it to a group of like everyone here when James and Elise were up. James and Elise obviously seen it, but Andy hadn't seen it, Mike hadn't seen it, Roger hadn't seen it, Lindsay hadn't seen it, and they were like, "That is a great film," and that is Predator.
That is Predator. Greg Miller, what about you?
Hey, how are you? I mean, what a film. You know what I mean? Arnold Schwarzenegger, as I've talked about many a times on our thing, like with my friend group, was God, right? He was Terminator, and we were Terminator kids. We loved Terminator. And so in that build up to T2, when we were so obsessed with Terminator 1 and being kids of the 80s, right? Granted, this is probably the early 90s. What was T2?
T2 was 93, I want to say.
So like we're
91.
92?
91.
We're watching
All right.
everything, you know what I mean? You're watching everything that Schwarzenegger's been in every action film, all this stuff. And Predator was always one that was just like such another level
91.
of it, right?
Were your parents cool with you guys watching this? Or like, was
They give a
that
shit?
Yeah, the rule in my house was, you could watch an R-rated movie, just you couldn't say the words kind of thing. It was very hung up on the words rather than the violence, America.
They encourage it.
And I remember when I saw T2 in theaters, it was one of those like, mom's gonna take me to it, and mom was sick that day. And so dad had to step up and do it. And I could feel my dad shifting in the seat at how uncomfortable he was because mom was always the more hands-on parent. So like, I think she had more of a
understanding?
dialogue of
Yeah.
what my limits were and what I was allowed in. Like, so like when like the fucking, the T-800s crushing skulls out there and stuff walking around, I remember my dad being like, what the fuck did I just take my kid to? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Jesus, and he cuts his arm off. So anyways, like, sleepovers, you're downstairs, you're watching whatever in Mike Boylan's basement that his dad burned. God, that's how he copied every VHS tape he ever rented. So like they just had the Blockbuster library on catalog, you know what I mean?
That rocks.
And so we would just watch the shit over and over again. And it would be that thing, you go out, it's time to go outside and you're either playing Terminator or you're playing Predator. And so you're hiding in the bushes, running from it. Somebody's hunting you, whatever. Both very similar games. You know what I mean? Just like what you're able to do. But yeah, like Predator was an institution. But it's one of those interesting ones where, Nick watches it annually at least. This is the first time I've probably ever sat down as an adult to watch Predator because I was always more of a Terminator kid. But even for the Terminator in review, I hadn't watched Terminator 1 and 2 as a sit down, let's watch them in forever. So this was a fun trip to go back. But again, sit down, 147, just like, why? And I'm like, because the movie just starts with them arriving. We don't even know any of these guys. They just show up. We're like, we're going to go kill this. I totally forgot the rebel subplot. I was like, okay, that's where we're getting some
Yeah,
time.
they're not assassins, by the way. They're a rescue squad.
We're a rescue squad.
Who just happened to kill 40
Everybody
people for no reason.
brutally.
Yeah, that is my.
They have advanced combat tactics.
When they start assaulting I'm like, how do they know where the hostages are? They're just blowing the
They
shit.
make a big point of being like, there's one hostage left, and they're like, let's blow everything up.
Arnold
It doesn't
Schwarzenegger rolls a fucking truck full of gas into the
so
commissary.
awesome.
There's that great moment during that scene too, where like Carl Weathers kind of knows what he's doing. I think, but one of those other guys is like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, why would you do this? You have a
no, they're
grenade
all like,
launcher.
what is he
Yeah, what's
doing? Like, no, fucking
Dee asked
no.
me when we were watching the thing, but she was like, why would he do that? I was like, because he has to fucking deadlift something. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What's the point of all these muscles if you ain't
Hell's the
lifting
point
a
of it?
truck off the blocks?
Although
and
another
rolling?
fun thing that I think he lost like 20 pounds for this because he didn't want to be so big. He wanted to actually look more like leaned out, like an actual Spec Ops like soldier.
I don't know that he achieved it.
No, it's fucking huge.
But yeah, so great. Now, this being your first time, like, what was that experience like?
Oh, it was great. Like, it was more like assembling parts and dusting off parts. Like I said, I forgot about the whole rebel subplot. I thought we were right into the hunt. I was like, oh, right, that's where this. Okay, blah blah. And so you're in there and you're going and stuff. And yeah, it's an 80s movie, which is, it is what it is and great, and it is over the top, and it is this thing, and long conversations of watching this. I'm like, man, just remember when we used to be like, the government knew what they were doing. You know what I mean? They were sending these guys out to do something, and it was going to be a thing. And it's just a normal double cross rather than the current double crosses where we have the most boring double crosses of all time every day around here. But it was fun. It was cool. Good explosions, good stuff. I was surprised by, I don't want to spoil it, how high I ranked it on the list. You know what I mean? Because I think coming in, I would have been like, oh, I bet Aliens will be my number one. And then I was surprised to put Alien number one last time we did this. And where does Predator fall? We'll find out.
We will find out. Andy, what do you think of this?
This movie's so cool. It's the era, right? It's like, it just exemplifies what 80s action movies are. And whenever I think about how timeless an X-Wing is, like the timelessness of the look of the Predator, of the helmet, the mask, this is not a design that got stuck in the 80s that we look back at and go, oh, look how cheesy that looked. Nah, it's still the coolest fucking thing you've ever seen. And then again, like, I'm so glad you told that story, Nick, because the story about the mandibles have always just been so iconic to me as a kid. And this is a movie my dad had on all the time, just like all the other Alien movies. But this one I remember a lot more. And then again, watching it in its entirety sometime last year, I guess it was. It was during the Nuzlocke. You know, yeah, because I remember I was drawing like one of the charts in the back.
Oh yeah, probably.
It was during the Nuzlocke. Yeah, so it's a great freaking time. Cheesy. You know, there's some stuff that you're like, that really didn't quite work there. And then there's one of my favorite spots is, we'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah, the movie just kicks ass, even though it's like cheesy in a lot of different ways, and maybe they don't make all the same decisions that I think work.
Yeah.
But I still love it for it, you know?
And it's like the first, right? It's literally the one that like so many people will copy. When I think of an 80s film, in an 80s action movie, I'm thinking of all the ones that were inspired by this.
Well, it's interesting because you guys are saying that it's kind of a quintessential 80s action film. I would actually argue it's not.
Oh, interesting.
I would argue that his other films of the same ilk, like Commando, Running Man to a degree, but like Commando is always the film that I think
that gets forgotten a lot.
When I think of like a quintessential Arnold Schwarzenegger's answer to Rambo First Blood Part 2, where if you remember, those are the two movies where these guys are. Those were iconic because they fought 80,000 people, killed them all, and by the end of it, like I'll never forget. If you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of Commando, after assaulting an entire compound full of enemies, he threw a fucking saw blade at a guy and cut his like top of his head off. You see him, he's carrying
shirtless
Alyssa
Milano, yeah.
and he's got Ray Dong Chong like on his side, who's a lady in it, like kind of love interest, right? And he's got like a little scar right here. And the guy goes, "Hey man," he's like, "Matrix, are you gonna come back?" He's like, "No chance." And then it's just a bad song, and he's coming back, right? This one, where do we find Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of this? Like he's done.
He's done.
Right? I love this movie because I think they did a really smart thing. They set it up as the ultimate macho team of guys. They have the slurs, they have the fucking, they have the muscles. I mean, honestly, like these are guys that are like, you're not manly enough for me. They have Jesse, Ventura has the moment where he calls someone a homophobic slur. They're fucking, no one has more muscles than we do. And then one by one, they get fucking destroyed to the point where Arnold Schwarzenegger does something in this movie that I honestly was racking my brain. I was like, I know he probably did it at some point. He does something in this movie that he's never fucking done before. He runs away. He sees this thing and he's like, fuck. And he crawls away from it and has to run. And that is so incredibly important because Arnold Schwarzenegger was the biggest unstoppable badass of the 80s. And this movie is so fucking good because they found a way to have something bigger and scarier than him come at him. And that's why it works. It works because you have that one wonderful moment where he swims ashore and you're like, oh, he's safe. And then you see the fucking thing just drop behind him and he's done.
Oh.
He's like, he just crawls on it. He gives up. Like, there's no other movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger gave up, right? And so I think that to me is the strength of why Predator is. And that's why I'd argue that it actually kind of evolves that way more than people give it credit
That's
for.
something that The Rock and or Vin Diesel would write into their contract nowadays of like, no, I can't run from an enemy.
Yeah.
Like how they have that supposed
And it ruins
contract
movies,
where
right?
they can't lose a fight
lose
or
to each other.
whatever.
So you have the fight between Vin Diesel and The Rock, and you're like, wow, this is going on for a while. Right?
It's been here for 7 hours.
And I think that's important, right? Because you have to have a character who's vulnerable, especially in an action movie, because that's what ups the stakes, right? If you believe that this person's going to beat everything, Commando is a very boring movie. It's fun because it's silly. And it's like, I think it's from the producers that do 48 Hours, so it's got a fun style to it. But at no point do you think he's ever going to win. So by the time you get to the end of it, like when you see the guy he's fighting at the end, he's kind of like puddly. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the end of Commando, but it's like, it's not a jacked out
I
dude.
don't remember.
This
is the blow off the steam. Right?
Yeah, let off some steam.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with stick around.
Yeah, that's today. That's today.
Pull every line Schwarzenegger's ever said.
But I love this movie. I always love this movie, and I'll always put it high on my list because it deconstructs that concept of the
Which is
macho,
great.
fucking masculine dude.
And that is the powerful things we'll get into. You talk about like obviously Schwarzenegger's portrayal, but even Mac, right? Mac and Jesse have this a relationship that's I think so reminiscent from Aliens, right?
Yes.
Of the two, the Ramirez, right, and the blonde guy with their Gatling guns, right?
yeah.
And there's such a similar thing here, right? Of like
Giving him the flash.
That
once,
brother,
Once
you know?
Blaine dies, like Mac is like done and like gone, and like to the point of like I'm watching this in a modern setting, I'm like. He loves him, and I don't know. And I'm not trying to figure out what kind of love it is because I don't care. But like,
Right.
they love each other
Yeah, they
way
love.
more than like.
Yes.
When
there's
he
a-
said, because I had the same sort of vibe, like, oh, were they going for like if you look into it, but then I thought like, oh, maybe there is a romance there, but then he's like, my brother. He says something like that.
no, he was a good soldier. He was my friend. Or
Yeah.
There is a brother that is dropped that it's like, oh, okay, like this is more familial than, oh, there's a secret romance that maybe.
I like
But
to think
why
they
not
were
both?
maybe you
closeted.
bang your brother, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And that's why
I think they
Jesse
would
drops
just-
the slur. You know what I
I
mean?
think
He
they
just
just-
feels bad about himself.
They just built the same blood, and they spilled the same
Same
blood
blood
in
in
the
the
same
same
mud.
mud.
You know, they have that, and that's the other thing too. Is like the camaraderie with these guys is interesting, and I think a lot of that had to do with like obviously they did the whole like you guys
Vasquez.
got to go to boot Vasquez. Yeah, sorry, I was going to correct you on that. Not Ramirez. What is that from?
There's an famous IGN clip that got uploaded and remains to this day that Fran uploaded at an E3 and the thing, and it's like Tom Clancy's whatever on the Xbox 360, but it runs at half speed. Ramirez, no, Captain, I've lost sight of Ramirez. And so we would play it over and over again. I'll tell Fran right now to send me it.
I just
Weird reference.
I think the characters have a good camaraderie. I think offset there was all sorts of shenanigans that they would like Arnold Schwarzenegger would pull pranks on people, and then there was always obviously a healthy competition between all of them because these men were jacked out of their gourd. There's a famous story where I don't know if you read this piece of trivia or not, but Jesse Ventura went to wardrobe and he was like looking at everyone's measurements and he was like, "Oh my God, I have bigger biceps than Arnold Schwarzenegger." And he looked and he was like, his biceps were like 1 inch bigger than Arnold's. And so he started flaunting it all around. And it come to find out that Arnold actually bribed the wardrobe department to tell him that he had bigger biceps. And so when he challenged it, he was like 3 inches bigger. He was huge, just to fuck with each other. And he said it got to a point where it was a problem because they were all waking up earlier than each other to work out harder than each other. And so at one point, everyone was just going to the gym at 4 a.m. And they were like, you guys can't fucking do this stuff. It's great, weird shit like that. Anyway, I think that all builds into the camaraderie of the team. Is what I point
Can
out.
you believe that I remembered that we called it "It's Got to Be the Gun"? Like I knew that's how easy it was for me to go fucking
Are you
find
sending
this
it to
clip.
assets?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Sorry.
Big league chew.
Okay, assets, you have it. If you want to turn it up, if you're like
Well,
not
the blue
probably
light.
a clip that's not interesting to anybody, but it's Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon
Actually,
Advanced
you know what?
Warfighter
Oddly enough, you know what I
Xbox
was thinking?
360.
I was actually thinking of Highlander, but that's okay.
October 4th, 2005. We played this
I just
around the
remembered.
office and made fun of it all the time.
Ramirez.
I've been made. He looked right at me. Move. Ramirez, what's your sit rep? Ramirez, respond. Ramirez!
Hold on, let it go. Captain, I've lost sight of Ramirez.
Captain, we've lost contact with Ramirez.
This clip is 20 years old. Just still
Unbelievable.
chilling on IG.
I love that your slow motion impression is your impression of Chappie.
I know, yeah. And look, look at this. When IGN added comments, all the comments are me sending people to the video like this. August 1st, 2013, it's me saying so good. March 11th, 2014, I'm reporting you, Greg. Why the hell did you
never
bring
change.
me here, Greg?
Holy shit. Watching this movie for the first time was such a trip. Like, we've reviewed hundreds of movies in review, and it's rare that I watch one. In recent times, there's been more and more of them, but where I'm like, that was a movie. Like,
Yeah.
that was a motion picture that had so much
Cinema.
put into it to, like, really feel like that special blockbuster something that, you know, exists in a different way nowadays, but it was special from the jump, and I didn't expect the opening shots of this movie. Like, having the Star Wars-esque kind of space, and there's a ship and all that, I was like, different tone than I expected entirely. And they then jump into what I expected so fast. For them getting there, facing off against the Predator, I was like, they are not wasting any time. I feel like they use the runtime very well. I was interested the entire way through. More heartfelt moments than I expected. The alien, like Andy was saying, is so fucking cool. Like or the Predator. I am familiar with Predator just as a concept, but like the details and intricacies, like I knew, of course, there's the laser, you know what I mean? But like I didn't even really know that the mask comes off and his face does the thing and all that stuff. Like, and I was like so impressed. I loved the way it looked. I loved the escalation of the Predator throughout this movie, kind of like healing itself and like dealing with all of the like different forms that it has. I thought that was so well done. But the amount of visual effects and language in this that we now see all the time, but like the laser targeting, the way that he goes invisible and stuff, like sure you can look at it and like roll your eyes and like make fun of it for like how it looks. I'm so not on that side though. I'm like, whoa, this looks incredibly cool. It looks believable in a way of that's how it looks. Like in the world, that's how they're seeing this thing. And like
the 3 dots is so sick.
It's scary. It's like
so
actually seeing
sick.
like the laser targeting. Like it makes lasers in a movie scary, which I think is very hard to do. And I've seen so many lasers in my time. But in this, I'm like seeing it in the jungle setting. Like there's just so many like great calls that made this one really, really stand out for me. And I think it's probably going to end up pretty high on my list overall. I don't think it's a perfect film by any means. I feel like I liked the kind of connections between the characters more in Aliens and even Alien to an extent. But Schwarzenegger's great. I think that the final confrontation between the two of them, like I wish I believed more in Arnold Schwarzenegger, which I think might be a weird thing to say, but like there's something about him winning that I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know.
But
I
he
was rooting
almost
for the
did
Predator.
it, right? Like, I mean,
It's a shit
last second thing, and the Predator figures it out and finds a little thing, comes around.
Come
the
on,
trap.
come do it. Kill me. I'm here. I'm here. Kill me.
Kill me. Do it now.
What are you waiting for?
I'm here. Do it.
I've got things to do.
I'm doing it.
Come
Kill
on.
me now.
I've got another movie to make.
But yeah, overall, like I love Arnold so much. Like everything he does is funny to me.
I think watching this, there's the opposite feeling I get here is something that like happens to me when I'm watching a DC movie that I've talked about in the past, where
tread carefully.
if I don't really like the movie and the vibes are bad and it's just like nonstop bad stuff happening, line delivery, bad acting, bad writing, blah, blah, blah. If I'm not feeling it, even if they hit me with something that is genuinely good, I'm still like, like it was all for naught because you're in this movie. But the vibes are so good in this movie, and I'm enjoying my time so much that even when there is kind of an awkward, stupid moment, like my wife's pussy, that shit, I'm just like, or whatever. It's like, this is, who cares? It's like this movie's so stupid anyway, and I love it because it's like an awesome action movie. So even if they hit me with my favorite part that we'll talk about during the big action blowout sequence, when moments like that hit, I still smile because I'm like, I'm still enjoying the ride. You know,
It's funny you bring up the DCEU. Can you connect this movie to the DCEU through one character?
Are
one
you the leader?
actor?
Can you connect the
You connect
DC
it to the DCEU of one character?
Yeah, one person in this movie is in the DCEU. Who is it?
One like actor or
Yes,
character?
yes. Well,
Come
yeah,
on, Side 2 Nerdle expert here.
Mando?
One character is in the DCEU. Oh, sheesh.
I don't know.
I mean, it's
The
gotta-
answer I'm thinking of, because there could clearly be more and I'm missing it, is Anna. And I didn't know this. When I clicked into the Anna actress, the one woman in the movie, she's in Blue Beetle. She's like Jaime Ramirez's family member. I don't know if it's mom or grandma.
wow.
They didn't have a
Right
good
on.
photo of her, and I don't know her that well.
How does this movie
I
connect to the
drew her.
Batman movies from the 90s?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, what now?
How does it connect to the Batman movies from the 90s?
I mean, Schwarzenegger, come on
There we
now.
go.
Mr.
There we go,
Freeze.
everyone.
They
That's
thought these
Chill
were
out.
morning.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Time to get to the plot. Right after a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Built. Y'all already know I'm a big points and rewards guy, but here's a PSA for anyone who rents. If you haven't heard of Built, you're about to thank me. Earning points on rent is now a reality when you pay your rent through Built. There's no cost to join Built, and as a member, you will earn valuable points on rent and on your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Built points toward. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/kindafunny. That's joinbilt.com/kindafunny. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/kindafunny to start earning points on your rent payments today. That's BILT. This episode's brought to you by Factor. Ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Greg Miller's been loving how simple it is to enjoy his Factor meals as he's rushing between shows each day here at Kinda Funny. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Multiple people here at Kinda Funny have been loving their experience with Factor, and you can too. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. This podcast is brought to you by Stash. Saving and investing can feel impossible, but with Stash, it's not just a reality, it's easy. Stash isn't just an investing app. It's a registered investment advisor that combines automated investing with dependable financial strategies to help you reach your goals faster. They'll provide you with personalized advice on what to invest in based on your goals, or if you want to just sit back and watch your money go to work, you can opt into their award-winning expert-managed portfolio that picks stocks for you. Stash has helped millions of Americans reach their financial goals and starts at just $3 per month. Don't let your savings sit around. Make it work harder for you. Go to get.stash.com/kindafunny to see how you can receive $25 towards your first stock purchase and to view important disclosures. That's get.stash.com/kindafunny. Paid non-client endorsement, not representative of all clients and not a guarantee. Investment advisory services offered by Stash Investments LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Investing involves risk. Offer is subject to T&Cs.
You'll know what I'm trying to do as I play it, so just please follow along. I can't play the piano; it's too hard. I finished the stream. Tim's like, make the rankings. I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot about that. That's gonna
Do
take
your
a while.
fucking job.
I'm just running out of time. I'm running out of time left and right. You got to interview Matt Piscatella for 5 hours, and it's like, if we would have been anyway,
It
Hey,
was
you
an
zoom
hour
along,
and 10
it was
minutes.
so long. It was so long. So if y'all could just sing along right here.
Sure.
Right here we go. Oh, sorry. Oh, hold on. Let me turn the metronome off, Tim. There we go. Cause I'm here. The way you move, the way you look, the way you I'm here. The way you shoot, the way you hunt out in the wild. I'm here. Do it, kill me, now I'm right here. I'm here. There we go.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
J-Lo, man.
Do it, kill me now. Did you know there's another version of that song? I found out today.
No.
I looked up that song and it said remix, and I was like, well, I don't want the remix. I want the original. I'm real. And it's like, no, the real version is like the one that we know.
So sexually explicit and crude.
No, the real one's like so fast and poppy.
Oh.
And the Ja Rule one is like the one that we all know, but that's the
Yeah,
remix.
yeah.
I had no idea, Tim.
Wow.
Remix to Ignition.
We all have
Welcome
soda
to
facts.
Predator, everybody.
Bum, bum,
We
bum,
start in
bum, bum,
space. Do you remember this? I didn't remember this. And
This-
the little ship flies by and goes, pew.
Yeah, I think
Shoots
this
a
was an
little thing down.
addition later to not to
Like George
before
Lucas.
the movie, but or before the theatrical release. But I think they did some screeners and they were like, I don't think McTiernan wanted this. I think they put it in like randomly without him knowing because they were like, we need context for how this thing got to Earth. I'm like, do you? I don't know.
I like it because it explains that, this I mean, that sounds stupid, I guess.
Extraterrestrial.
Exactly. I think
you.
I like, at the end when he takes it off, I'm like, what the fuck are you? Or what are you?
Yeah, makes sense.
Like, it would be like, I could, if I'm a moviegoer, I could have been like, so I didn't get it. Has he always been on Earth? Is he a thing? You know what I mean?
There's one moment where Anna just tells
it's
you
hot.
the lore of like there's these hunters that come when it's
it's hot.
exceptionally hot. And they come and
Pretty
they
damn
That's
cool.
super
She
sick.
has a great name for it that's really long, where it's like
El
the
Diablo, there's something I
there's
forgot.
something that skins them alive or some shit like that. You're like, or kills when it's hot. I can't remember what it is, but yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe how violent this movie is. That's the other thing I forgot to say. Yeah, like I was just not expecting that. Like, because I know, I mean, all these things are like slight horror adjacent or whatever, and like Alien and Aliens have some really fucked up shit. This is just a whole other level where I don't know that I've seen a more violent movie. Like, this is like past Saw levels for some. I mean, the people getting skinned alive and like hung up as trophies is maybe as far as you
Him
can
petting
go.
skulls.
I think since we don't see the skinning happen, I think that's where I'm like, well, the skin body is similar to like, a bunch of any other gore but I think if we saw the action, then I'd probably feel the same. But we do see that arm fall off. And
Dude,
shit.
yeah,
it gets wild. Yeah,
crazy stuff. I'm not complaining. I think they pulled it off, and I think it all contextually made sense. But like, whew.
So we see Predator get beamed on down to Earth, but then that's not even what we're about, right? We're just in the jungle. Or not, we're in the jungle, not the jungle we're going to, but another jungle. And guess what? Just fucking helicopters coming in, the Jeeps coming in. They're just delivering people. They're getting out in suits. They're getting out in MTV shirts. And one guy, his name's Dutch. He ain't getting out at all. He's sitting there smoking his cigar, having a great time in the back.
Just wearing a bright red polo shirt.
We see
awesome,
Carl Weathers. We also got to see for a little bit, sitting at his little table with his little beer or whatever.
Yeah.
Dutch comes in and is like, "What's the fucking mission or whatever?" And he's like, "Guess what? We got a cabinet minister who went down over here. Their helicopter went down. Is he always on the wrong side of the border? He got lost. Why am I here? Because you're the only one dumb enough to take it."
General, this is not me. Wait. He's like, because some dumb son of a bitch said you were the best. Dylan, you son of a bitch. What's the matter, Dylan?
I've heard this.
CIA got you pushing too many pencils?
Nick's been wanting to do that his whole life. Like, if he retires tonight, I would understand. He was so
It's like
ready.
a bucket list.
He was so ready for that moment.
It's just the dumbest, best, most macho
It
moment
immediately-
ever recorded.
It immediately sets it up again. Like this movie, if they made this movie today, we would get Dutch on his farm, fucking throwing bales of hay, and the
Yeah,
helicopter
someone's like,
comes
"You
in,
gotta
and I
come
need
back."
you, and then I gotta get a team, and then it would be the assembling the team.
Yep.
They're like, fuck all that, we're there. Then we get there. Dylan and Dutch know each other so well that they like to argue about muscles and how strong they are.
I like to imagine on the editing floor, we see the close up of the gigantic bulging biceps, and they're like, "What do we think about this shot?" And they're like, "Do you like it?" He's like, "I would like it if there was another one," because they cut right back to it to show the arms like straining or whatever. Those are massive muscles. I can't believe how action figure like they look. And of course, we saw Carl Weathers during Rocky, and we saw his body on display. But I'm still blown away by it. Even at the end where Carl Weathers is like kind of fending them off, and he's breathing, and his
my
abs are
God.
just like, holy shit, it's crazy.
Unbelievable, yeah.
You know what? We should have got a prop for today,
should've
like a
worked
little
out.
spray, a water spray.
Oh, sure.
Because they're so sweaty this whole
Yeah,
time.
well, they're in the jungle, it's hot.
Should be,
It is rock levels of Fast and Furious.
And again,
type of wetness.
fascinating, just how different movies are. Because you get Jesse the Body Ventura being like, "Oh, it's fucking hot as hell out here, and if you got out here, you'd be lost forever," or whatever. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, when it's insanely hot, that's when these things come and kill," or whatever. If it was like a modern movie, we'd be getting temperature gauges left and right. Like, it's so hot. They'd be driving it home.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit about why the thing
you-
was
yeah,
there. They were just
yeah.
like, it's here, dude.
Yeah, we
Fucking
said
understand
enough.
it.
You got to
They
probably go
believe it.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Jen was like, because we've watched Prey most recently, in terms of our Predator
Also
thing.
very
We've seen it.
good.
She's like,
Excited
"Oh
to get
yeah,
that.
because the whole backstory, right?" And I'm like, "Well, remember, they're saying it's hot, and that's what brought him here." So they kind of retcon a bit here. Watching them all together, I'm going to be interesting to see how they evolve the narrative or whatever. Because I don't.
Yeah, I don't think
It goes way more towards the hunting than the
they
hotness.
don't keep the
yeah,
hotness
Yeah, exactly.
beyond Predator 2, I don't think. I think that's when it kind
But
of...
LA always hot. You'll find out. Anyways,
Well, I mean, thermal cameras work better in the summer.
it's true. Dylan and him have the conversation here. We've already done so much of this. And of course, as I am the best plot recapper in the game, I will point out that a key to a great plot recap is having different locations. So there's going to be a lot of, well, they're in the jungle here. And I'm bringing something from the third act over here, but you'll be fine. Anyways,
The jungle looks cool as hell, though.
yeah, it does.
Like,
Fuck yeah.
It's shot
It's
great.
a character.
Yeah, it really is, and it just it looks great the whole time, and like it's that perfect thing for a movie called Predator, where it is about predator and prey. Like I love hiding spots where they're and them being all camoed up and stuff. Like there's just something about it that like you said this earlier, Greg, but like so much comes from this, and it's so clear. In the last couple of movies, like I've been blown away by how much Metroid just straight up stole from Alien and Aliens. And Metal Gear has been sneaking in a little bit like throughout it all. But with this, I'm like, oh, it's Ground Zeroes, it's Phantom Pain. Like so much of this is just those
Well, I mean,
games,
for the
what I love
video
about
game,
them.
I mean, Predator Hunting Grounds really ripped this movie off.
Right.
that too, yeah.
So much
That's a
to tell
good
them
game.
about
No,
that.
no, right. But again, after having played goddamn 100 hours of Predator Hunting Grounds and coming back to this movie, like, damn, they did such a good job with that
They
game.
really did.
We really
I was
don't
thinking
give
that. I
credit.
only played it a handful of times with y'all, but I was like, whoa, the game is the movie.
And back to your point again, as we kind of just gush all over this movie at different points, like to them being, to your point, of on the defensive the entire time and knocked off, like the jungle adds so much to that. Of course, you're in a new place. You know what I mean? We all learned about Vietnam. Many of you lived through it. There's this whole thing there, right? Of like, you understand guerrilla warfare. And like, even the moment where Dutch finally puts it together and he's like, it's the trees that he's coming through. They're hunting us through the trees, right? Like, it's such a good way. And like, to the heat comment being one thing, same thing from Mac at one point, right? When he talks about, I think, how to get to where the helicopter meetup is. And he says something that doesn't make any sense to me. And it's so fascinating. Like, it's all the way through there, but I wouldn't want a dog with a long dick to do it. Like, you know what I mean? He wouldn't wish it upon his
They were
worst.
saying some weird shit.
He wouldn't wish it upon his worst enemy. It's another great setup of how crazy the jungle is.
Yeah, they talk about how he has that one line too where it's like, this is worse than Cambodia or whatever it was last time they were in there. And I do love, I mean, look, it's difficult to film in these locations, and obviously you pick spots that are like closer to roads and shit like that, but they had a hell of a time filming this movie. And I think it goes to show you how good the team was that made this, because there's not a setting in this that feels redundant, which I think it could be very easy to do, right? I think it'd be very easy to be like, it kind of looks like that other patch of jungle that we were shooting at. But then, of course, just getting those incredible aerial shots that I never really even noticed until this, like not aerial, but like those incredible wide vista shots, which he uses a zoom lens for, which I just find so eerie and off-putting to be using in 1987. Because at this point, we very much like, nobody uses zoom lenses anymore. But he has those moments where it just kind of zooms in on spots, and it just gives you kind of a classic horror feel.
Dude, and you talking about the camera work. One of the things that really makes this feel like a movie to me is one of the opening shots of them actually going down into it, where it's not a one shot, but we are with these characters the entire time, from being in the helicopter, going down, and then into the jungle and the entry in. And it just feels like, oh, we're here. You know what I mean? Like it's impossible to watch that and not be invested in these characters and what's happening.
Isolated here,
right?
now.
Like
it's stuck here.
And they do a great job sound design wise too, right? Where they're like, let's go, let's suit up, and it's just boom, that loud ass, gonna tell him everything. That Little Richard song. That is awesome.
Tall Sally.
Red light, they're screwing around. We're getting the character dynamics of like, nobody likes fucking Carl Weathers. They know he's a piece of shit.
It's a
Dutch
classic,
doesn't-
right?
yeah.
It's just like Aliens, right? Where
Yeah,
here's
he's
this
the
guy
boat
we don't
character.
know who has to come. And again, I love moving on, but like there's the conversation, right? Where even though Dutch knows, him, thank you so much. He's like, you know, when he's told by the major that he's coming with you, you know, he's like, Dylan's coming. No, like we don't work that way.
Yeah.
We all have our orders, major, right?
Yeah.
And you can tell he's not happy about it, even though he knows him. And then to get him in there, you have this close knit team similar to the Colonial Marines, then having this general or whatever his rank is inserted there that nobody likes. Yeah.
So off we go into the helicopters, and I love these moments because this is like the last moment of real levity before we get in there. And they're
back to your point. It does such a great job of establishing these guys are fucking badasses that aren't fazed by any of this. They've had a million missions. They're also a rescue team, not assassins.
just
they all
don't
have,
get it. Yeah, they don't assassinate anyone.
They've got
They're
they got their
rescuers.
Gatling guns and everything else. And that this is just another day at the office. I think this is. I mean, very similar, obviously, to the Colonial Marines being dropped in two. But like this, for all of them, I feel like is the moment of I was going to call him Kyle Reese, but Michael Biehn sleeping on the drop ship,
Somebody
right?
kicks up.
You get the relationships immediately. Like, okay, cool. Like, you got Mac. You got we over here. We have Jesse the Body Ventura, right? And he's going to be saying, yeah, and this will make you sexual Tyrannosaurus. And drops a very bad slur, but he does his thing. And then it's like, all right, here's the joke. And I keep calling him Egon because he looks so much like Egon. But like, this is Hawkins. That's Shane Black.
Hawkins is Shane Black's character. Yeah, there's Poncho, Hawkins, Blaine.
Yeah, Poncho
Billy.
and Hawkins very hard. Yeah, Billy, of course. You're like he's part Native American. I looked him up or whatever. This is what his career was or whatever. He's part Native, so he's dialed into the spirits in the forests and he's rubbing his thing and looking around. It's like, okay, like whatever. But like again, can we make him laugh? I'm gonna tell this joke about a little pussy, big pussy thing. Like you get the whole thing of like they're not worried about this.
This is like definitely just a story for this team because I want you all to maybe look it up and maybe I'll be reminded to look it up after this. But old Le Batard reference, the Dan Le Batard show had a watch party for Predator, and they invited the guy who plays Billy,
Sonny Landham,
Sonny Landham, and
Landham.
he's not the most stable human being. And he like slept at Stu Katz's house because they were like, well, we're bringing down the celebrity to like watch it with us with our community. And it's just like the funniest story of like, why did he sleep in your house?
No, he was
so hilarious.
He was like
He's off a little bit.
A little off. Like
Yeah.
there's another
Like-
piece of trivia where they had to hire him a bodyguard, but not for him. It was for everyone else, so he didn't like fuck people up.
Yeah.
because he used to get into bar fights a lot.
Yeah.
he's just a rowdy guy.
He was living the gimmick, as we said.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh, I was gonna say, of course, and that's I love this. I love this beat of sound design here, right? Because it's this incredible Little Richard song. Yada yada yada. They get the radio that it's time to go, and Arnold Schwarzenegger does like this, like link up or whatever. Turn it off, and it's just the silent, like
We're
just
in.
the sound,
Yeah.
and we're in. And then you have that one moment of loudness as they're rappelling down, and then Carl Weathers has the line, "Oh, I didn't realize how much I missed this shit." And he's like, "You never were that smart." They come down, helicopters are gone, and it's just like quiet. We're just in the bush. It's so good.
They make their way, of course, to the helicopter that is supposed to be the cabinet minister's helicopter, right?
And I see this, the down chopper, and immediately I go,
Get to
the chopper. It's
Not even.
coming.
Not
Get to
even.
the chopper.
Instead, they get there. Because, of course, actually, I guess, yeah, they knew this was the chopper of the people they'd already sent in. They'd lost contact with. You saw the movie, you know. They get up there. One of the Egons, not Egon, the other guy, he goes up there, Poncho, and he investigates the thing. He finds a bunch of, or a dead guy up there in a blown to shit chopper and comes back down. And basically, immediately, the Dutch is like, this ain't a rescue chopper. This is a surveillance thing. Something's going on or whatever. And like, okay, we'll keep that in the back pocket. Carl Weathers, of course, plays dumb as hell or whatever. Then we find the skinned bodies right away, right?
Well, Billy's like, there's something weird happening here. Like there's boot tracks and they're American boots. Like they're going that way, basically. And as they go that way, this is where they find Hawkins' team, who was the first team sent in to do this job.
Of course.
It blew my mind though, because like I know that like there's real people that do real
Hawkins,
this
excuse me.
in real life,
Hopper.
but the idea that in this jungle, this man can just walk and look and be like, "It's 9 men.
American
here's the
boots."
boots. Here's having them." Just like no fucking way, but like people do that.
No,
shit.
yeah.
It's so cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, as you
Crazy
said,
shit.
we find the dog tag. It's John Hopper, of course, the name of the sheriff in Stranger Things as well. Just like we have Hawkins in this movie, who's the name of the town in Stranger Things as well.
Wow, that's a strange thing.
It is. Well, it's inspired by all the 80s movies that came before him. Immediately Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, I know John Hopper, he was fucking really good at his job, but this also wasn't his kind of mission that you were describing before. Also, teeing off that we were doing this. When Billy had found the American boots, he also saw the rebel boots, and we knew they were going this way. So we march off that way, right? We come up upon the rebel base. That is there with its camouflage and its thing and everybody milling about or whatever. And again, this is the whole, like, you go this way, you do this thing. I skipped here again. Mac, of course, calls out Caller Weathers, right?
Ghosting us, motherfucker.
Yeah. I don't care how you rank, I'll kill you or whatever the fuck he says.
Mac, I know we don't do MVP anymore as far as the podcast is concerned, but in my humble opinion,
I would like to officially welcome you back to AVPPP. Hit the song.
AVP.
It's time for Alien vs. Predator preferred partner. Who's your preferred partner in the Alien vs. Predator moves? Of course, currently the list looks like this. We have Alien. In Alien, Jonesy was our preferred partner. In Aliens, our preferred partner was Newt. For the movie Predator, who is our preferred partner?
I don't know if Mac is the guy for this, but
There could be multiple entries.
I mean,
you know what
I would say that. I mean, it's definitely a stretch. I don't think that I'd put him in the same category as
Jonesy and Newt.
Jonesy, but like for the context of this movie, I do want to give a shout out to not MVP, but just the shout out to the guy that does track everything.
Oh, Billy.
Yeah.
Billy's probably the guy that you want to go
Yeah,
in
you
the
would
bush with.
want Billy on there. Yeah,
But the thing that I'll argue with Mac is that Mac's the guy who's
he
like,
feels.
he's like, if you fuck up, I'm gonna kill you, and he tells Carl Weathers that,
Which
and
is
then,
pretty cool.
Not only that, but he's like, we're gonna kill this guy. Like he's so proactive the entire time that, and then you start realizing on the 15th or 16th watch, like he's got a little bit of a screw loose. But I'll always give him a little leg up for that one shot where he's using the fucking razor, and it gets me every time.
Yeah.
It's so perfect. Just staring off into the void. Snap. Oh, Max.
He's got me. I'm putting Mac down.
Billy's pretty badass too, but
And
Billy
especially the
gives
fact-
up fast.
Dude, but check this
Yeah,
out.
just sits and cuts his face.
No,
he's
but-
always like, we're all gonna die.
Look,
Fuck Billy.
Billy kicks ass because he could feel the vibes of the jungle. He's
Yeah.
like, there's something out there, right? And that's cool as hell. Goddamn, Mac gotta jump on the predator.
Almost got him.
Like he's looking. He's like, this guy doesn't see me. I see
he's
this
got-
motherfucker.
Here's what. Okay,
It's
Billy-
so cool.
Billy's cool. Billy's fucking cool, right? He's fucking cutting himself, cool shit. Like, I know I'm gonna die. Let's go out like a warrior or whatever. But how many times does Mac just someplace where he could grab a hold of someone's fucking mouth and go shh?
That is true. That is true. Again, this is a classic kind of funny conundrum of like, what is this list?
Oh, this is your preferred partner.
You know what? You're right. I'm sorry.
Greg,
My
it
bad.
really came around during the reprise when you came back in. I was like, wow, this is really something.
Wow, this is really something. Alien versus Predator, preferred partner. Anyways, they roll up on their thing. We've already had the thing. They all get to their things. We've talked about this. They do the whole thing. They go around this way. Blah, blah, blah. Schwarzenegger goes down, and they all start knifing people quietly.
Yeah.
They're doing this. Yeah,
all that
exactly.
stuff, yeah.
Fucking cool as hell.
do the-
Man. But we're not assassins.
We're not assassins. We do
No.
get a moment though where we see a
Like, who are you like a rescue team from like tigers and lions? Or, like,
we get a moment I want to point out here where one of the pilots, one of the people they're supposed to rescue, he just gets fucking shot in the head.
Yeah.
He's
That's
shot-
when like we got to move.
Yeah, he's shot in the head by Sven Ole Thorsen, who, if you watch any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie in the 80s, Arnold Schwarzenegger like hooked him up. He was his homie. They used to lift together.
Oh, nice.
They used to do like
rocks.
I think they worked out together at like Gold's Gym. And so you can see this guy. I believe he's in Conan.
Yeah, dude, he's
in-
looking at the movies he's in. I'm like, okay, this is just Nick's childhood here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Conan the
Conan.
Destroyer, Captain Power, and the
Cole the
Soldiers.
Conqueror.
I believe he's got a big role in The Running Man as well, and then he shows up in this movie. He's always just like, he just throws him like, hey, come on, go do this like day job for me.
That kicks
Give him a
ass.
little. He used to do that all the time with his guys. If he can get him like jobs just to help him pay the rent or whatever, he'd throw him in a movie for sure.
Have you ever seen Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe?
Never.
I actually have. It's Jesse Ventura, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's the main character.
God, I hope so.
I think that was
it
like
is.
the one
Sure
of
It
the-
is. He's
Sure
Abraxas
is.
himself.
Not a
Oh,
good
And
film.
man.
your boy Sven is secondus.
The aforementioned Abraxas.
Jim Belushi's in it.
Oh,
nice.
nice. I wanted to. I wish there was somebody who wasn't a part of the crew. To be like, you're a rescue squad.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we work for the Red Cross. Like, we help with floods.
Yeah, we're
and-
Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we've talked about before, this is where Schwarzenegger, lifts the truck that's running their gasoline pump that then rolls into the thing. He tosses the explosives in it, blows the fuck up, and it just pops off after all this stealth. Go
And
loud.
I love this. This scene is quintessential 80s action, right?
So many people lit on fire.
Everyone's
Oh
lit on
my
fire.
Lord.
At one point, Arnold Schwarzenegger has a knife that you haven't seen him with the entire time, but he takes it out and he fucking throws it through someone's chest and sticks it
Stick
into the thing.
around.
And they did that because he was like, this thing's too big. I don't want to we can't hide this thing. So he got rid of it. I I do want to point out that they're all shooting from the hip constantly, which I don't think they train the United States military to ever do that. They're just like, there's no, at no point do they aim down sights ever to killing these people. It doesn't fucking matter.
I think Schwarzenegger's too massive. He looks like
Couldn't get it
when
up.
I hold the Splatoon gun, because like his arms are so big. And I have this little toy Splatoon gun that's like a little thing, but I don't know if he's holding an AR. Or maybe they gave him a tiny SMG, but he's just holding this little tiny thing, and his body is just like tower. It's like you need to give him a big LMG or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
But this sequence,
He's got the grenade launcher on the bottom that kind of thickens it.
yeah,
out a
you're
bit.
right. But again, it's crazy that he's still. It's like a big basketball player making a basketball look like a softball, you know. This sequence is by far the funniest to me because it is so much action nonstop. It is explosions. And just off screen, on your left, and it's like it's meant to be noisy and messy, and it's about what feels like 30 to 40 seconds of that, followed by the out of nowhere, throw the knife, stick around, and it's like that came out of nowhere. That is so shocking, and like I love that it's there. But because it's there, I wish the whole thing was just one-liners nonstop. But it's like it's a lot of fighting and combat and noise and explosion and stick around. Like whoa, where did
The
that
stick
come from?
around line,
I
if
got
I'm not
jump scared by
mistaken,
that.
like McTiernan did not want to include it in it because he was like, this is the one thing that really kind of takes us into really campy territory. But Arnold's like, I gotta have. Arnold was that guy that was like, just say the catchphrases a bunch of times, and who knows what's gonna be the catchphrase. It ended up being "Get to the chopper," which I don't think he ever thought it was going to be. But
McTiernan's like, I don't want
You're
that.
kind of making fun of me.
yeah,
McTiernan's like, I don't want that in the movie. And he goes, okay, understood. And he throws a knife. Next time he goes, knife to meet you. He's like, no, I don't want a pun at all.
I do love starting the scene off like before the binocular shot happens. As they start going in, he's like, go, whatever. They do this sick ass like front flip roll down the hill,
And then
landing in a
they
snake
go like
pose,
snaky.
and just start
Yeah.
crawling. I'm like, oh shit, that was like so sick.
Really cool.
I also love that, and I don't know if they did this on purpose, but I always thought it was like a funny thing that you can just see Arnold Schwarzenegger do this. If you notice one more time, Arnold Schwarzenegger has this big old fucking thing he looks through, and then when it cuts to Carl Weathers, he has these little tiny binoculars that he looks through, and I'm like, that's got to be an ego thing, right? I don't know. Anyway, this scene is ridiculous. They blow everything up, but yeah, and he's like, oh, this is a treasure trove. I didn't think we were gonna get all this stuff.
By this point, we've met Anna.
We've met
Where
Anna.
we're just brutally killing everybody, and then Schwarzenegger gets from behind, knocks somebody out. He's like, "Oh, it's a woman. I can't possibly kill her."
Yeah. It turns out this was a big operation that was going to be rebels are going to take all these guns across the border, and this shit was going to be in the next whatever. It's all MacGuffin,
Could be another fucking world war.
something. Or
Is this
other,
like Top Gun where, in Top Gun, it's this
Opposing forces.
this opposing forces, no country.
Yeah, I think this was supposed to be. I think it was just alluded that it was South America, but they filmed it in Mexico, so I think it's just they don't. Where these people are, there are the Russians because the Russians were so bad at that point, but I don't think there's.
And that's the thing when you come in, there's like
between what's going
4
on.
different languages being spoken, right? It's kind of like a new axis of evil.
Yeah, 'cause we hear-
I'll go if you want. But you're doing a great job.
I do. I want to point out one thing that I think that we missed in this, and that's a lot of these action movies are known for iconic things, right? We have the Predator, iconic things. We have the Alien. We have the pulse rifle and the Alien.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about Jesse the Body Ventura's choice of weapon.
Painless?
Painless,
Old
painless.
A fucking minigun that they took off of a helicopter
So sick.
and had to power with real electricity. It doesn't have a battery of its own. So every time he's going anywhere, they had to fucking like run a line up in his arm and fucking run it to like a 240 volt battery. Because this thing is an actual minigun from a fucking helicopter. It's wild that and he's just kind of, he has it like slung in front of him the entire time in like a cool little Velcro pouch.
He's the tank class.
But I love when they're like, that guy's
Vulcan
nestled
Raven.
up there. Yeah, he just turns it on it and just explodes an encampment up in a tree. And then we have another great line where he's like, Blaine, you're bleeding.
I ain't got time to bleed.
You got time to duck?
Yeah,
That's so good.
that was fun.
Yeah, very cool.
And then of course everything we said has happened. They don't kill Anna. They take her because she can have knowledge. And then of course we got to go all the way over there. Like she's your responsibility. You take care of her if that's the case. This is then the introduction really of the Predator. I mean, we've had the introduction of a skin body, but we don't know that's all. But we start getting these shots up in the trees, right, of watching, and you're getting the thermal stuff. We see, of course.
Was this the first time we've seen thermal shit?
That I can remember.
Because like
It
that's
blew my
just
mind.
so sick.
It was terrifying.
Like night vision, cool. Things are green a little bit, but thermal, it's like, oh, this is different.
Mac walks up on Dylan, stabs him in the back. Dylan freaks out, but guess what? There was a scorpion on your back. Puts it down, smushes it down.
Scorpion kind of looked like a little face hugger. I know that wasn't intentional because they probably didn't know back then, but immediately I was like, that's kind of weird. We get a close-up shot of it, and it's like very face hugger adjacent.
All right, hit the song, Andy.
Have to do it.
Face hugger, face fucker, face hugger, face fucker, face hugger, face fucker.
It's face fuggum or face. It's
Face hug'em,
face fuck
face fuck'em.
or face hug'em.
Oh, it's not face fuck'em, hug'em, huck'em, fuck'em.
I mean, yeah, you were saying face hugger though a lot there. There's no face,
Face hug'em?
hugger. Face hug'em.
Oh,
face
I
hugger.
thought it was like, is it a face hugger or a face fucker?
Yeah, no. This is welcome
differences
back to
right
a
here.
segment, everybody, where we decide if we liked the face huggers in this movie, and then we say face hug them, or if we said no, they sucked, face fuck them, get
Face
them out
fuck
of here.
this
Yeah,
guy. This guy
exactly.
sucks.
So far, an alien and aliens, we said face hug them. We like the face hug them.
Here I would say face,
Face fuck 'em.
Yeah, face
This-
fuck 'em.
Yeah,
You're not even a
It's not a
face
real one.
Not
hugger.
even one at all.
You're an
it's a little
insect.
one.
Yeah,
little one.
face. That's our first face
But
fuck
you said
'em.
you watched this in theaters, right?
Yeah,
Did people sing our song?
Now,
classic.
do you remember the tenor and the temperature of the world at large leading into this movie? Did people know what the Predator was? Like,
No. They had. I don't believe they had shown any concept of what it looked like until you were in theaters, and there was no Twitter. There was no one spoiling
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So I think they really went out of their way to make sure that it's like, it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It's got this cast. We don't know what's happening, and there's a monster of some sort.
That is so
I think it
cool.
would have been even cooler if people didn't know there was a monster. If it was just, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm the Predator, and people were like, oh, let's go watch this new Arnold Schwarzenegger movie called The Predator, where he's a superhero, and then it just becomes a monster. That would have been sick. Yeah.
You know what surprised me to learn is the critical response was really bad when it first came out.
Predator.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like some of the things are like the New York Times described the film as grisly and dull with few surprises.
Go to hell.
The Los Angeles Times proclaimed it arguably one of the emptiest, feeblest, most derivative scripts ever made as a major studio movie. Variety said it was slightly above average action that tries to compensate for tissue-thin plot with ever more grisly death sequences and impressive special effects. I was like, it keeps going on.
Get these
What the
critics out of
fuck?
here. Get these
Yeah.
critics out of
That's
here.
so weird.
And they were wrong.
So wrong.
It's definitely wrong.
Predator starts recording people's voices anytime.
Now, do you know who did the Predator voice?
Oh,
Peter Cullen.
no shit.
Wow.
Are you for real?
Yeah, he did all the little sound effects, like all that stuff. They got Cullen for that.
Whoa.
And I guess he had just done a movie. I forget what he was doing, but he just did a movie that fucked up his vocal cords. So he was like, I have to try to channel something that's like more guttural and he remembered the sound of a crab like doing that shit, like when it was like sucking air and like blowing out water on like the shores of Maine or whatever where he grew up. He's like, that's what it's gonna sound like.
What a magician.
Yeah, that's wild.
For me, I was practicing Mark Ruffalo on the drive-in. Still not good.
You're getting there.
Well,
Your
you're gonna
Ray
give us
Romano's
a
getting
little-
better too.
Yeah, I'm John C. Reilly.
Before we get out of here, last thing we get is one final joke from Hawkins/Egon, right? Going down to my girlfriend. Jeez, you got a big pussy. Jeez, you got a big pussy.
Why'd you say it?
And that
twice?
gets Billy. That gets Billy to laugh, which is important for the recap because then the Predator learns to laugh.
Yes.
Learn, laugh, live, love.
Live, laugh, love. Was this the first time that we
Live,
saw?
laugh, love, live.
Was this the first time that we saw that style of humor of like, get it because of this and that, like where a character explains the joke?
I can't
Maybe.
be right.
This seems like so early to have that level of humor.
If I believe, I know it's gonna sound. I took a film study class, but I think Chaplin made a similar big pussy joke in one of his movies. And then the next thing with the text like, "Get it? Because they're pussy." Echo.
The silent movies. The text popped up. I said my wife's got a big pussy. You just see him dancing.
Somebody please add footage of just him dancing and then get us the lines of dialogue.
Amazing.
Anyways,
Oh, God.
from here we're on the move, right? we've done this, we've gotten the thing, and now it is exfil time, right? They can't come in to get us here because it's too hot, so we'll go out there, whatever. And then they're walking, and then guess what? Well, Anna tries to escape a few times. She's acting like she can't understand English. They're all yelling at each other. There's a bunch of different stuff. She does she escapes here and runs, and then that's how they get separated. And then
Yeah, that's how Blaine goes and finds her, right? I think.
is it Hawkins? Hawkins.
Oh,
right?
Hawkins. I'm sorry. Hawkins.
Yeah.
Hawkins gets done first. That's
Hawkins, is with her. He gets shot, blasted, and then dragged away.
Yeah.
Then they all panic. They run over, and they find just the blood and her terrified and like, well, what the fuck's going on? Why
Yeah.
she didn't run? I'm gonna go. I move fast
Sure.
here.
Yeah,
Feel
yeah,
free to
yeah.
stop me
Yeah,
wherever
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to.
You're cooking.
Then to your point, this is when Blaine is like hears something and thinks he starts warming up, and then guess what? It's a possum. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then what happens is just from out of nowhere, blasted into his chest.
Jeez,
Pops open.
man.
Right.
Yeah, I was trying to figure this out. He gets hit with something first, and I don't think they ever figured out what it was. So there's two theories about this because there's two shots. Something hits him first and splashes blood, and it like shocks him, and then you see the blast like open up his chest. And I was reading on Reddit, and someone was like, "Oh, it was the possum that blew up and like splashed into his face."
Ugh.
But then someone else was saying, "Oh, there's another weapon that the predator gets eventually, which I think we saw in the game, which was the spear gun, like the little tiny prong thing that shoots out. That maybe that hit him first." So I don't know. If chat, let me know what you think that this is, because this always confounded me.
Interesting.
I never understood this. I also never understood what Arnold gets hit with later. And then finally somebody clarified, and as I freeze framed it, I was like, okay, that makes sense. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Interesting. Yeah, I never was thrown off by it. Yeah, but
There's two shots that happen here, and I don't know what the first one was.
I noticed that too.
Anyways, though, that's when Jesse the Body Ventura goes down, chest wide open. This is when Mac
finds him.
sees that, grabs the Gatling
Old
gun,
Painful.
comes up, and starts up with old Painless. Just
It might be
into
the
the
most
thing.
bullets I've ever seen.
and
in a
then
movie.
everybody runs up, and they don't even know what's going on, and they all
trees
trees just
falling,
exploding.
like-
and everything
Schwarzenegger
going.
runs out of ammunition.
reload, yeah, yeah.
reloads, and just keeps going. I'm like, you guys don't have that many bullets.
Yeah, I know.
I needed Mac to kind of be more aware because he's swaying all willy nilly, and like Sojig is right to his right, and it's like when you're at Topgolf and someone's swinging, and it's like, oh, whoa, the yellow line's right there, get behind it. I don't want to hit you with the golf club. Like Mac's just doing this, and Schwarzenegger's like real close to him. It's like, careful.
They're
dog.
a well-oiled unit.
You're right.
But we have that
Rescue
moment too
team.
where it's like it's all done, but Mac's still holding down the trigger as he's out of bullets, and it's just rolling.
They stop him, right? And then it's what's going on? Try to figure this all out. They investigate Jesse's body, right? It's cauterized because he got hit with this energy thing. They make a point to call that out. They're going to drag his body over there. You know, Mac will do it. He'll take care of it. They're still trying to get answers out of Anna. They're not really getting them out of her.
That's where she finds the blood.
Right.
On the leaf.
Yep. She
And
finds
realizes, yeah.
the blood. She rubs
the
it on her
leaves.
pants so we have it or whatever. Poncho comes back and is like, we didn't hit shit. There's nothing out there. There's I look for everything. There's nothing. Like, okay, well, fuck. They can't get the thing because the helicopter is too hot. So they continue to move on. Eventually now along the way,
This is the night scene right now. It's like, right?
yeah, well, this is where, they know that the jig is up, right? He orders Mac to do the perimeter, right, and set up all their trip wires and lines. Then Anna reveals she knows English. She tells them this is where she drops on Schwarzenegger that, yo, because Schwarzenegger's like, this isn't about sides anymore. We're being hunted by something. What the fuck's up? And she's like,
Well, that's later, I think, because I think this is where it sneaks in. He kills the warthog, and
Yeah,
then
the
we
daytime
get,
is when on does
we
that.
get the moment where they realize that he's stolen the body, and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then I think it's the next day. Something kicks off the next day, right? Where she goes, "I don't know what it." He's like, because I think it's daytime when he's like,
Yeah.
enough games. Like, what the fuck is going on? This thing's hunting us one by one. We're all in trouble now. And she goes, "I don't know what it was, but yada yada yada. We have." It killed the big man. It ran into the forest. I don't know what is going on, but one of you must have hit it because I found its blood. And we get the fucking line.
Oh my God.
Where it's just for no reason Schwarzenegger's here in the blocking, and then when they look over, he's 30 feet away in perfect lighting, and he's like, "If it bleeds, we can kill it."
Oh
Yeah.
my lord.
so good.
So awesome.
And that's when they start setting the booby traps. No, actually, that's where they realize, they're like, it's doing the trees.
We've also, I
It's like we
think,
didn't hit anything.
before this gotten a couple shots of the thermal, and like I feel like every time they add like a new element, and I loved him starting to record their dialogue and like start to like learn the language and be able, I was like, oh, this is so damn sick.
Very cool, right? Yeah.
That was one of the abilities in the game, Tim. You could
Mimic-
do like a
mimicry.
Mimic. Yeah.
Over here.
Really cool.
So sick.
So well, like we said, everything that just happened. You know, there's more with Mac doing his little drinking over by Jesse's body and stuff before he gets taken. Yeah.
I do want to call out the soundtrack because I love the soundtrack, and I also feel like sometimes it doesn't quite fit. I know it's like a very unpopular opinion, but like while watching this, and we're getting all this sort of like, you know, orchestral type shit happening. It reminds me of, you remember when they are at the end of Jumanji, when the little monkey kid is like doing the little, you know, the little kids are into the monkey and they're doing shenanigans and action sequences. The soundtrack sounds like it's from there until it gets more dark and evil. But when they're kind of in the jungle with the insurgents and all that shit, it just sounds like a little too
Whimsical.
Yeah.
See, I think to me that's what makes it feel like a movie. It just has that, like, you know, there's like movie vibes happening. Like sometimes there's whimsy here. Okay,
it feels like that soundtrack feels very much of its time. But yeah, I get the vibes of, you know, at the end when all hell breaks loose in Jumanji, and there.
I love that, man.
And it's Tim Curry is the actor who's like the hunter or whatever.
Yeah.
I could
It's
just
not
like
Tim Curry.
Not Tim Curry.
it's not Tim Curry?
It's his
No,
dad.
it's his dad.
The same actor that played his dad.
what?
Yeah,
Robert
you
Williams'
go back
dad.
and watch it. It's not Tim Curry. It
In the
has
movie.
Tim Curry vibes. He's a British actor who plays his dad.
Whoa, that's crazy.
So, anyways,
That's impressive.
He got in, got the body. How did he do it? How didn't he set off any of the booby traps? Oh, he's using the trees. Okay, then let's make a choke point. They make a choke point, and they make this
Greg,
crazy
I'm sorry.
thing. Yeah,
They don't fucking just say let's. This fucking guy Andy.
Yeah.
sorry, buddy.
I
They
know.
don't say let's just make a choke point and set up booby traps.
Kill zone.
They go, we gotta fucking take our shirts off first.
This is hard
It's
work.
hot as shit out
It's
there.
hard work.
Yeah, dude.
For no reason, this is where Schwarzenegger is just like, he's only in the little vest,
Yeah.
which I find to be the cutest thing. It is. I don't think he suits up for the rest of it. It's just vest and then shirtless.
Why not, dude?
Carl Weathers is taking his shirt off now. These gentlemen are just gorgeous specimens of human
I mean, I need to ask, like, where were they born?
Well, Bear doesn't know that the cue's like on the
Just
thing.
fucking sing it then. Do
But
the
it's so much better. There it is. Bear, you're the best.
Now it's time to rank those up.
Yeah, that was one I forgot that you don't actually play live.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Where They Born in Labs, ladies and gentlemen. Podcasting the podcast. It's San Francisco, California, 4:43 on a Thursday afternoon. Andy,
Delilah.
who looks better with this shirt off? Is it Schwarzenegger or is it Weathers? Who are we going to give it to? Ab-wise.
I mean, ab-wise, it's Carl Weathers.
It's Carl Weathers. But overall, physique-wise,
It's Schwarzenegger.
because his fucking arms are so
It is the arms.
big in this.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
It's really crazy looking.
But Carl Weathers' abs are,
he's
they're
perfect.
different.
His body's perfect. Perfect.
Chubbs.
It's
Yeah.
Chubbs. It is Chubbs. Like, why'd you put that much gum in your mouth?
it's so good, man.
Makes me a goddamn sexual
Sexual
tyrannosaurus.
I'm gonna go get some napkins to put him into.
Yeah, I had to as well. They set up the booby traps here, obviously, and then they wait.
And
And he's like, nothing.
jack shit happens.
Nothing happens.
So Carl Weathers starts being a dick about it. This in final Schwarzenegger like, fine, I'll go out there. He goes out there and avoids all those tripwires and stands there and is looking straight out, the only way in. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. And then what? Also, we totally skipped because just how we're jumping around. When he got wounded and bled, he then healed himself and screamed.
Oh yeah,
So
awesome
cool.
moment. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Again to I think show how advanced in at least some ways this alien species is. That they got their little kit of like medical things to do. I like that a lot. Anyways, he gets scooped up, pulled up in the net, blasts his way out of it, right, and then it's just now we're into the killing zone.
Blasts a log that kills Poncho or hits Poncho. real hard.
It hits Poncho and like crushes his bones, but he's not dead
Yeah.
because he'll need to be dragged out. That'll be a thing coming on, right?
It's attacking everyone except for Anna. And Schwarzenegger realizes this. So when she goes to pick up his gun, he kicks it. He says, "No."
It didn't kill you because you weren't armed.
Right. Kicks it
No
out of
sport.
her fucking
Oh, no sport.
Yeah.
sport.
Before
Turns-
this, they do divide though. Mac and Carl Weathers go to chase it down this way.
Oh, right. You're right. I'm
and
sorry.
this is where they get separated. He grabs his mouth. You see him. He's up in the tree over there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go around. You go that way. Mac sets off. Just like looks at, and he's got the 3 dots on his arm. Looks up. Head gone.
Fucking
Just
terrified.
fucking head gone.
Awesome shot of it just standing right above him, and you're like, It's so well done, that effect.
So then we hop back over. We get the thing with
We get Carl Weathers' arm
No,
coming
no, we
off.
hop back over. That's where we get the thing with Anna. Then we come back. Yeah, and Carl Weathers sees Mac dead. And
That's
like,
right.
what the
She
fuck?
tries to pick up Poncho's gun.
Yeah.
And she's like,
And
he's
this
like,
is
no,
why I
there's
thought
no
it-
sport.
And then when Schwarzenegger when he set off and Schwarzenegger when Mac whoever gives Carl Weathers another Uzi, I was like, that's a weird choice, isn't it?
Two SMGs
Yeah, why?
in the jungle.
And then it was like, oh, for this scene of his arm getting
Has
locked.
to
I was
go
like,
down, yeah.
ah!
And it was
This
so
is
cool to
time.
recognize those guns from Call of Duty, though.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like an MP7 or
Yeah.
an I don't know what it is.
MP5, MP7, something like that.
Arm falls off,
you
and
got-
then we get the I think amazing shot of Carl Weathers watching it come around, like it's
running.
just like and it's moving like an
so
iguana, like a
good.
cat on the trees and shit. It's
Yes.
fucking.
I imagine like it was skating around it, you know, like
It's-
you know, like in the when Flash runs running past Superman. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
It's a very well done, like haunting shot. I don't even know
Very
how he
much
did
so.
that, but it's
Terrifying.
so
Cameras.
it's almost slow motion, but he's also moving at full speed. It's weird.
Really, really good stuff.
Just ices it.
This is again where they're just on the run, then, right? And so this is we're trying to get all the way over there, get to the chopper, not officially yet, but
If
we're
you're-
going that way.
If you're Carl Weathers, I know that's painful. You're dying. You gotta just point the gun because you still have the gun as one of your arms lopped off. You're getting stabbed, and you're still shooting out here. Like,
Let me try to impale you, and you see if you can
Yeah,
actually
give
do
him a
art
sec.
still.
I'll shoot you.
Anyways, this is where we get the Billy moment,
I can
right?
see
We
you
get
got
on the
the
giant
Billy.
log, and he's basically gonna be like, "I'm drawing the line here.
Yeah.
You guys go."
Making
Takes
a
off his
stand.
stuff, cuts his chest with his. Is it chest or face? Chest. Yeah, chest
Yeah,
with
he
the
does
big
the
knife.
chest.
Just gigantic fucking knife.
Just huge.
Yeah, big machete.
And then we don't even see him die, right? We just hear him scream. Yeah,
Again, talking about, Tim saying this is a very violent movie. I would not disagree, but I never clocked it as that violent because this is more Hitchcockian in nature, right? A lot of the things we don't see people getting skinned. We don't see Billy die. We do see a lot of stuff happen off camera that's terrifying because your brain fills in the rest. We do, however, see Billy get his spine and skull ripped out of his body, which is absolutely terrifying. But Billy going down like this is like the hardest fucking thing you could possibly
yeah. We
do.
skip past. There's the scene of
Mac getting
There
shot in
is
the
evidence
chest.
of Predator petting his skulls and having all this stuff.
We also skip past a wonderful moment where I think it was Poncho was like, he's like, Billy, what's wrong with you? He's like, I'm scared. He's like, you ain't scared of no man. He goes, this isn't a man. And then he goes, we're all gonna die.
Yeah,
This
awesome.
guy's gonna kill us all.
Awesome.
Him saying that one line, I remember being like, fuck, I'm terrified when I first watched that.
Fucking Poncho got crushed by a log and dragged all this way just to get shot.
Yeah.
He gets killed. He
He
gets
just gets
iced like
shot.
that way, right? This is where Arnold tells Anna.
She goes to pick up his gun. He kicks it, turns on the fucking tree, lights it up, and then this was the other thing I had to look up. He takes a shot in this
in the arm.
in the arm, but it doesn't hit his arm. It hits his gun first. You can see his gun splinter.
Oh,
Like it actually, his M16 just rips apart. And I never noticed that before until this was watched through. I was like, oh, okay, because he gets hit. I'm like, why didn't he?
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura got hit and it blasted through his fucking stomach, and it was because it hit the steel of his gun.
I didn't notice that.
And that's where when she goes to pick up the gun, like, get to the chopper.
I thought it was the
No.
equivalent of like how hunters could switch to like a bow, like a less lethal weapon.
I always thought that too. Some theories were like, oh, it was like less charged because
Yeah.
the blast has to charge,
You have to
and which
hold
is
the button
possible
down.
as
that
well.
from the game. You know that from the game.
The other thing I noticed that I literally had never noticed before was that when Mac is like losing it, right, and he's picking up all of this and he's going after. He's like, "This is we're gonna go kill this guy," and he's saying, "We're gonna have me some fun. We're gonna have me some fun."
He's singing the song,
He's
Little
singing
Richard.
the song.
Yeah.
I never caught that before.
Yeah.
And he's doing the lyrics like
Oh.
old Miss Sally went
Yeah.
down.
Long, tall
yeah.
Sally. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just fucking losing it. I'm like,
That's
that's such a
awesome.
great,
I didn't
that's a
realize
great
that's cool.
callback to the beginning when they had all this shit together.
Is that better than Ellen Ripley singing the song at the end of?
Yes,
Yes.
because this has meaning.
Yeah.
This established that
Yeah.
song is important to them and
Yeah.
they play it. Yeah.
This is
I
their
agree.
this is their get ready song.
Gets to the chopper. Arnold gets shot in the arm. He falls off the stuff into the water. We get a whole bunch of different stunt doubles going over waterfalls. Hang on there. He
God, ridiculous. This is one of those like, oh, and then this, and then this, and then it's like, I don't know that we needed him to go through all of that, but okay.
Great
did,
stunt
though.
though. Did practically.
Oh yeah.
The guy blew his knee out doing
Oh.
it. Yeah. The
Dang.
big drop. He fucked that guy up.
I really did not like how much they insisted on zooming in on that real blurry shot.
I don't know why they used that. I have to imagine that was the only take that was usable of it, but it really is scaled up a lot. which
Like
is weird.
compared to the rest of the movie, it just looked really
It's
rough.
off. Yeah. Well, there was one piece of trivia I read that was somebody used the wrong film grain. They had been given the wrong film grain, so a lot of the cameras, when they got it back to the lab, they were like, "Oh fuck, that is way too grainy and way too messed up," because it was like something wrong. I don't know. Who knows if that's right, true or not?
We fall in the water. Then there's a big sploosh right behind him because Predator ain't stopping. Predator's
not.
coming
So
for
cool.
you.
Last
That's so
one, buddy.
scary.
Schwarzenegger has washed up on shore. He turns around. He's covered in mud. He crawls backwards, still in a bunch of mud, gets underneath the tree. And like you said, let
Gives
go,
up.
let God. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's like, this is
This
the
is
end of the
it.
line for me. But Predator walks up on him and can't see him. And this is where he's like, wait a second. And he does like the look around, like, okay, I'm covered in mud. This is the thing.
I have a great moment too where he shoots the little marmot thing.
Yeah.
And all these sparks shoot, and they just shot sparks on
They
Arnold
just
Schwarzenegger.
all land on
It's
him.
like fuck. You
Yeah,
can see him
he's
like
just
take
laying
it.
there, just taking it all
Yeah.
like crazy.
It's awesome.
That's cinema. All
I
right.
It
know.
is, man.
He's like, it couldn't see me. I'm invisible to it. Now I can kill it.
I don't know if he did all that.
No, that was all internal monologue. Yeah.
That was
yeah.
in the director's cut.
And so this is where he sets up his own kill zone.
He does, and he sets it up, and I was joking about this earlier, but he goes about basically being as primal as you possibly can. There's a jungle hunter that's hunting him. He becomes primal, and not only that, but he has now shed all of his clothing. And I don't mean that in like he's shirtless. He is now a primal warrior in this versus other warrior, and how he has to beat this thing is not by beating the shit out of it and punching harder. He has to figure out how to fucking stop this thing and outsmart it. And so he sets up all these cool ass traps with the slowest moving spear, but the fastest moving arrow you've ever seen. It can shoot through a fucking tree. And I was like, that's what you use.
Yeah.
That's the one you use.
Yeah.
I had a lot of like internal dialogue moments when, you know, when the Predator's first sort of like looking at them and we get that second pussy joke or whatever.
Yeah.
To me, I imagine the Predator being in the trees and being like, misogyny's not cool. Like, this is why I'm coming after you.
Yeah,
But then
that's why
in this
people have to
sequence,
die.
I pictured Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm a social justice warrior.
I pictured Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, testing out this arrow. He shoots. He's like, that was my only arrow. Like, it's stuck in the tree now. It's halfway through it.
Well, I love he makes like a compound arrow.
Diamonds.
It's like 50 different branches like tied together. It's like, it's fucking cool.
Really
man.
awesome.
I like more when he's like sitting at the fire putting the. And I'm like, dude, the fire's heat. He's gonna see this.
They
you know
did
what I
it.
mean?
They did it. I know that's massive fire. He's been shooting shit all day. I'm like, this is the worst hunter ever. But apparently they did a Mythbusters on the mud just to see
Oh,
if
nice.
it in
Yeah,
any way,
no.
shape, or form
Not a
would
chance, right?
hide. And they were like, no. At first it's just cold, and then your body heat just heats the mud
Yeah,
up. And
but
that's
it's
it.
still
That's
fucking
it.
cool as
But
shit.
it's fucking cool
It's
as
so
shit.
cool.
cool 'cause he
Eventually,
has camo
he does
on.
all these
Yeah.
things, and he has no guns, but he's got the grenades, and he's taking them out and doing making little. It's fucking cool as shit.
It's so cool.
And then finally, he's like, "It's go time, right?" So he lights his fire, goes,
And we get that we get that
Yay.
fucking sick ass wide shot of him just like looking like a fucking menace.
Yeah.
We
Just
also
an
it's like it's kind of intercut with
with the Predator
with the
jumping
Predator with his like skull trophies.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh man, we're
petting
about
his
to get the
trophies.
face off.
The Predator's looking at his visor. He's like, is this the heat sensitive one?
"Is this thing working right?
I don't
I
have
gotta
the old-
calibrate,
I have-
reboot it, turn it on, turn it off again."
This is one of the older ones. The newer ones see through mud, but should
So
be okay.
Predator shows up. Like you said, he goes to the top of the tree or whatever, and like there's a shot there, and there's an explosion, and then he turns around and just fires back at the tree where it came from, and Schwarzenegger jumps down, he rolls, and then Predator comes down, and shit's all fucked up.
Well, we have a great moment too where it's like I think after the first blast, Schwarzenegger like he's on a tree, and the fucking Predator
right
just
next to
pops
him.
up behind him, and you see his eyes be like fuck, and then he like just swings over to the other branch, just hugs it
yeah,
like
yeah,
real
yeah,
hard,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
fuck, and then you get that feeling of your ass tightening up,
Dude,
because this thing's
awesome.
out there, it's right fucking there.
And you know what I didn't love about this whole sequence where he blows up like that thing on Predator? Reminds me a lot of in playing this game called Avowed. Greg.
Yeah, I know it.
You shoot a bow. You're in stealth. You shoot a bow and arrow. They all know that you're over there. It's like,
No, that's not how it works.
you can't see me. You don't
Yeah.
like. You're just sort of looking at this thing. This thing exploded in your face. You don't suddenly know that I'm.
Well, he
fuck
shoots
you.
wild at first, right? Because when he's on the tree that they had to make, apparently they had to make it out of concrete because this fucking thing was too heavy. He throws it down, it explodes, and he's like, "Shit!" And then you have the wide shot of it just lighting up
Yeah,
random
yeah,
points.
Yeah.
And Schwarzenegger being like, "Shit, this is crazy." And then we have the moment where he's like, he goes back down, he rearms himself with the spear, and like. Then we have the rock moment where he throws a rock and it triangulates where it came from, and then it just blasts.
Cool.
him.
Oh,
That was
so
really cool.
Also, just his little shoulder thing in
The,
general.
the parrot cannon or whatever they call it. Yeah.
I mean, that's just another another example of like this design aids so
sick.
perfectly.
Because
Yeah.
it moves with his head. The laser moves it.
Oh, that's
Did you
so
notice
cool.
that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
That's
so the laser is
cool.
the targeting, but the laser comes from his head, so where his head goes,
Yeah.
the parrot, they called it the parrot because it looked like it was sitting on his shoulder.
Oh,
The cannon like moves with him. It's fucking awesome.
So all this happens. They fight. Schwarzenegger gets knocked down. He gets in the water. His stuff's washed off. He comes over. Predator hops down, sees him, takes off his mask.
Real quick,
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick,
yeah.
real quick. What made him bleed though?
Schwarzenegger hit him with fucking grenades.
No. What made Schwarzenegger like bloody in the mouth before he fell in the river? Because like it looks like when he fell down, before he jumps into the river, he's like fucked up. Did he?
No, I think he gets punched in the face first.
No, before any of like the melee combat, before they get close to each other, when he falls down from the
I think
tree,
he just fell down from the tree.
because he
Well,
gets
this
up and
is-
his mouth is all bloody, and it's like, oh, did he get hit by like shrapnel
Bit
from
his
the
lip.
explosions and
Fell
stuff?
out of the tree, bit his
Maybe
lip.
bit his tongue. Yeah,
Yeah.
We
you
do have
could be
that. We
right.
do have that great other moment that I think we skipped over just to call it out, where
Please.
he's on the tree trunk and looks up, and the predator's right in front of him, and then when he comes back, he's underneath the tree trunk.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
hanging
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That was
Cool.
crazy cool.
Now we're gonna do a fisticuffs.
Yeah.
You are one ugly
You
son of a
one ugly
bitch.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Or motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
One ugly
You one
motherfucker.
ugly- Yep. And then a goofy ass fist fight. And they did their best. They really did. But this shit's goofy.
It's not goofy, Tim, because he respected him as an adversary, and them taking off the mask is the ultimate sign of respect, dude. He takes off the mask to be like, you know what?
Mano.
You know what? I respect the hell out of what you're doing. I should have come out of here just hunting. You're just a deer usually, but damn, you're putting up a fight. You know what? I'm gonna give you respect. I'm gonna take off the mask that gives me heat vision.
Yeah.
This reminds me a
we're
lot.
just gonna fight.
This reminds me a lot of another hunting movie we reviewed called Craven, where that was. You remember Craven brought this up of like,
Yeah,
you're not really
absolutely.
hunting.
Of
You're just
course.
over here with your fancy guns and stuff. And that's what the Predator was doing this whole movie. And here he was like, you know what? Let's go. I need to earn my stripes, as the later movies will tell us. So I'm here to do this and fight you. And so yeah, Schwarzenegger gets his ass kicked for a long time, and then he crawls down the little canal, and then he turns around. And what does he say?
When it's like, come on, kill me. I'm here. What are you waiting for?
Do it.
Kill me. Do it. Come on.
And Predator's like, yeah, I'm going to. Wait a second. Something's not right here.
Something's
And he starts
fishy.
feeling little teeth up
Come on,
here.
do it. I'm
and
here.
He goes,
Kill me.
you stupid son of a bitch. And he walks around the whole traps and comes in. And Schwarzenegger's like, well, lucky for you, I thought of another trap here.
Well, no, it was the same trap. So
But
the
it comes
tra-
straight down, doesn't
Yes, no. So here's the weird way this was shot, and they kind of fucked up when they shot it. The trap was a zip line, basically, that was set down here, was tensioned. That was when he walked in, he was going to kick the cord. It was
Knock
a
his
counterweight that came down and was going to pull him up into it.
Oh, he got hit by the counterweight.
You see a moment that
Oh.
they forgot to shoot, I think, where they had to digitally animate the rope popping up. It's very, very bad. It looks like 89 Batman style, sort of like when you could tell shit was not very good. And so that's what he did. He realized he was coming the wrong way and goes, oh shit, there's a counterweight. So he kicks it out, the rope goes up, and the counterweight falls on.
Oh, see, I thought it was like a
Oh.
fail safe. I thought he was going to get
No.
smooshed by something. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think
Anyways, that comes down and drops on ye old Predator. And Schwarzenegger gets a second of relief, and he takes a breath, and then guess what? Movement. And he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh shit, I still got to fight this thing. And so he gets a giant rock, and he goes over there, and what's he find? Predator. Just all bleeding all over the place.
That's
Green
such
shit
bullshit.
The
everywhere.
Peter Cullen thing. Okay, yeah.
It's such bullshit because, like, I get it. You just hit the dude with a big ass log and you want to, like, holy shit. I would, like, this
Yeah.
is my chat. I fucking stab you in the head.
Yeah.
This is, every horror movie we ever watched
Yeah,
growing up. Why Scream was such a big deal, right? Of like, this is where the killer always comes back. Not my movie. Because it was like, anytime you watch any of these movies with all the knowledge we had, I'm like, I'm fucking killing you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So even that, like this point where he's like, good thing you're already dead. And the Predator's like, or am I? Beep, boop. I'm like, no, you're no full friend. I'm going to kill you right now, man. You know what I mean? But he lets Predator do his goddamn thing, right? And- yeah. And so he fucking books it running out of there, right? And then he jumps and just giant fucking explosion.
Like, man, it's fucking crazy, dude.
Giant explosion goes off. It's crazy. The helicopter with Anna's over there. They see this thing. They look, oh my God, it's a nuke. It's a little mushroom cloud over there.
Yeah.
They fly right into it, not
Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah.
And they're able to find Arnold Schwarzenegger just standing there in the white
rescue
suit.
Standing there with his
rescuers.
fucking hands on his hips.
They get him. They put him in. He's covered in shit. He's got fucking ash all over his face. And then what happens?
Yeah,
Too many
and
cooks.
You're like, he's just looking out into the void. And I legit, when I was watching this the first time, I was like, oh, he's fucking dead. And Anna's like looking at him crying. And then his eyes move for a second. And then that's it.
Predator.
It's not it though, because then we get the Too Many Cooks credits.
Okay.
insane.
I forgot about
you
that.
said that. I was like, I didn't understand what you were
insane.
referencing.
I
Yeah,
will
yeah, yeah.
never.
Before we went live,
understand.
the chat was like, I can't wait to see Tim's reaction to the 80s sitcom.
It's so funny. It does not fit this movie at all, but I fucking love it.
It kicks ass.
Anytime a movie like shows the characters and stuff, I'm always like, yes.
Dude,
And they go back to the helicopter. He's like, you have to put mud on your bodies. That's how you won't see it.
You put the wheel in the book.
I will not. I never understand why they included this. It's so weird.
We're having fun.
It
out
ruins
there.
it doesn't ruin a movie, but it's very. It stands out as it should have been improved. But to add insult to injury, Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't pose for one. They just take a shot of him from the movie when he like turns to say the line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." That's it. He's not like smiling. Everyone else is like, "Hey," you know, like they got other B-roll of them doing shit. Very weird.
Very, very
That's
weird.
Predator.
I do not want to pose.
You can't afford me.
So, do they name a ship in this movie? Because we do have rank the ships. At number 1, we have Nostromo, and
They
2, we have the
don't.
Sulaco.
I mean,
I was gonna skip this one. I didn't know you're
Yeah.
stealing all my bits.
Just trying to see if we had it.
I don't think the helicopters had names, unfortunately. Ragu. Bagu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys, the podcast within a podcast where we rank and review all the bad guys in the AVP universe. Currently, ranked at number 1, we have the aliens, Burke and the Queen from Aliens. Number 2 is the Xenomorph, the Facehugger, and Ash from Alien. Where do we want to rank the Predator from Predator?
Tim, I want to start with you on this.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
Dude,
I have my thoughts on this.
he's so fucking cool.
He's cool as fuck.
Everything about him is cool. I don't like that he got taken out by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I just don't. So that does lower it for me a bit.
Traitor to your species, huh?
But I think about it, and I mean, it's just like I get it. He's a fucking badass. I see his biceps. I totally understand all of the things. I just with how this movie's set up, like how just like they're just rescue guys, and with the equipment that he had and the abilities this thing has, I just don't feel like he showed enough intellect to be able to take this thing down. Sure, he home alone it and like whatever he won.
Rescue team.
Something about it though, I'm just like I don't know. So that lowers my Predator thought. Having said that,
But he didn't take it down. He didn't kill it. Because the dude had him he could have killed him right there.
Yeah.
But that's the moment where he doesn't kill him and he's like, I respect the fight you
we're
put
going
up.
mano to
Now
mano
let's
on
fight.
this.
Let me take
Yeah.
off my
I don't
heat
respect the
signature.
fight he put up.
It's
I guess
so
that's what
cool.
it is.
God, it's so cool.
He wanted to let him know. He wanted to feel it.
I put this above Alien from 1 because I think that one's a little too goofy for me. But the Queen
Greg,
stuff
that's
in
Greg's
Aliens
best
too,
impression.
Yeah, it's real good. I'd put this at number 2.
Okay.
Me too.
I would probably put it number 2 as well. I think the Xenomorph, specifically from Aliens, is, I think it's scarier. I think it's a cut above everything else we've seen so far. I love the Predator. I love the design of it, but I can't put it above Aliens.
And also, I'm rooting for the Predator. I know that's not a part of this ranking, but like, I'm surprisingly into the Predator. Like I'm anti-Arnold here,
internet
but
forums that would
it
agree with
reminds me a lot of like Godzilla versus King Kong. It's like, who the fuck could be a King Kong fan? You know what I mean? Like our boy Godzilla. Let's go. Having said that, I do love King Kong too.
Sure.
Like I appreciate him. It's just like when you put them together, of course I'm choosing Godzilla. Aliens, Predator going into this, of course I'm choosing Aliens. I don't know if that's the popular take or not, but I'm like Predator's putting up a fight for me that I'm like I can't wait to see his other
Predator's
movies.
cool.
To me,
Predator's really, really cool.
To me, it's the concept, Greg. It's the concept that these aliens, his kind, go to different planets to hunt.
Come the fuck
And
on.
that's it. And they're just doing it for sport. It's a fun thing. Like father, sons, they go out, you know, oh, yeah, it's my son's
What they do.
16-year-old birthday. Yeah, we're going out to
Got a
Earth.
new mask.
Yeah.
Going out
Wanna
to
go
Earth
hunt?
You guys
this
been to
year?
Earth yet? You been to Earth yet? No, I haven't been to Earth yet.
It's hot.
It's just cool.
I gotta tell you, it's hot. I don't know why we go when we go, but it's
Like,
hot.
It's a cool concept. The fact that they just built a whole movie around the fact that, no, this isn't some weird invasion of this dying species looking for or
Yeah.
trying to conquer. It's like, no, they just go out there and have fun.
It's cool, man.
It's awesome.
Looks cool, scary, cool abilities, unique abilities.
yeah.
It's dope shit.
Yep.
There you go then. Your
What
Ragu.
do you think?
I honestly probably would have made a case for 1, but I don't have the votes, so it's not even worth it. But I think the Predator being an intelligent species, like he's out there doing this all, he's orchestrating things. I agree with you. You know, he's like, all right. Yeah, it's like me showing up in a Lamborghini to race Cool Greg on a scooter. It's like, well, all right, like I don't know, I'm gonna race and beat you, you stupid idiot. Like, yeah, I got all this shit, but like overall, you know, again, the taking it off and being a really cool villain, just being one, and like, yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, many shout outs.
I would respect it quite a bit.
I'm excited to see where he goes in the future.
I'm excited to
Those
see where
friends.
a lot of our things go in the future.
Yes.
Andy, you can keep going with that if you want, because we have an inaugural award to give out. This is a big deal, everybody.
Once a year.
Can you give me act like you're welcoming to the stage? Please welcome to the stage.
Ladies and
Present the
gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the one, the only, Greg Miller.
Hello, everybody. It's, of course, my honor to give out the inaugural Chris Hansen Award.
Oh,
Now, as everyone knows, Chris
can you
Hansen
take me off the camera?
changed the
Predator.
game when
Zoom
he
in on
introduced
Andy.
a show called To Catch a Predator.
Yeah.
The inaugural Chris Hansen Award will, of course, be the award we give out every Predator movie to rank how they caught the Predator.
I
So,
like
of
that.
course,
I like
this
that.
one
I like
being
this.
the inaugural is Schwarzenegger,
I
the
like
thing,
this.
With
the
the
counterbalance.
counterbalance.
Okay.
He has no competition in
I
this
like
award
this.
category.
God,
we
this
will
is
see as
genius.
it heats up as we go. Thank
This
you very
is
much,
That was
genius,
great.
everybody.
Good job, Greg. That was a lot
Thank
more
you.
PG than I thought it was going to be.
Don't get me started on PC gamers.
Well, number 2, I was gonna say Dr. Disrespect, but
I wonder if it's going to get beat. I'm interested because I think that this is like pretty damn cool how he takes him out. So
Oh wait, it's gonna get beat.
yeah, all right, cool. That's good to know. Very excited.
Yeah, I think I'm clocking this. I'm betting right now that it gets beat by 2.
Okay.
Put
Okay.
it out there.
We'll find out next
Wow.
week. But now
Just
it is
this part.
time to rank the Predator and Alien universes. Nick Scarpino
Yes,
put Predator at
number 2,
second place behind Aliens.
and ahead of Alien.
Mhm.
I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. But when you go back and watch Aliens, it is an undeniable masterpiece achievement from a very young director, and you gotta give it that. Predator, perfect. It moves by at a fast pace. There's absolutely no meat on. There's no fat at all. It's all been trimmed. But at the end of the day, there's just so much more to Aliens than there is to Predator. So I could not put it above it.
Andy Cortez, where'd you put Predator?
I struggled with this one despite how awesome the Predator is, just as a look, as a vibe, he's just got this is his thing. He just goes and hunts people, and he's got a cool ass helmet. But I had to put it below Aliens because watching Aliens for the first time really blew my mind. Like in its entirety as an adult, just really blew me away. Especially that final sequence, I still would put against a lot of other final sequences we've done in review, because that whole seeing all of the eggs on the ground, like holy shit. Just from then on out, it was like this movie was already amazing, and now it's just god tier level.
So far, me, Andy, and Nick have identical lists with Aliens at number 1, Predator at number 2, and Alien at number 3. And so far, fantastic set of movies. Like I could make a case for all 3 of them being in any order. Like
100%.
This has been great. I know at some point this franchise is going to take a turn. I don't know when that turn is, but so far, so
tell
good. Let's keep it rolling.
Let him be excited every time.
Okay.
Yeah, because at some point it's going to get bad, but who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Do you know, Andy? Have you seen Predator 2?
In the same way that I've seen Predator 1. Everybody's as
Do you know
sweaty.
anything about
Have
Predator
you
2,
seen Predator
Tim?
2? Go in.
No,
blind.
you know nothing.
You have
yeah,
to
do
go
not.
in
Yeah,
knowing
do as
nothing.
Okay.
Have Gia rent it so you can just open your eyes and start watching. This
Oh, no
movie.
way.
Yeah.
Just-
Oh, okay.
Spoilers, an equal amount of sweat.
Okay. Fair.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
a lot of sweat.
Yeah, a lot of sweat.
But here's where things
Glistening
get
bodies.
weird. This was teased a little bit earlier, but Greg Miller going
everybody.
off the beaten path. What is your order so
I appreciate
far?
that we're talking this through because last time I was on one because I missed Captain America, we kind of just ranked and moved on. My rank currently in my personal list is Predator at number 1.
This could be
Then
me.
Alien number 2, Aliens
Whoa,
number 3.
interesting.
And these have been interesting because again, movies I know to some degree, and honestly, mainly my childhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so coming in, if you would have had me, before we started, oh, what do you think the ranks are going to be or whatever, it would not have been this at all. And like when we finished Predator, and I had this similar moment of getting into bed with, and I'm just like, what if that was a great movie? And it's not that like Alien or Aliens weren't great, but it was something about, the fact that Aliens is that sci-fi, that far future, then it is a little bit like, which is cool. I'm not talking shit about that, but it is that, retro futuristic thing. And there's this, and I think they do more effects there that they do effects more often that I look at. I'm like, oh, that's quaint. That's what you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. The Predator doesn't look great, all the time. And I'm not saying like, oh, well, let's go shot for shot here. But the setting of the jungle, the setting of it being modern for
Somewhat
the
more
time.
timeless.
Yeah, there's something there that holds more water for me. And again, 3
cloaking
excellent
tech
movies.
is awesome.
3 excellent movies that I was just like, whatever. But I was like really shocked to walk away like, damn, I liked Predator more. That's crazy. And again, I want, while we're here, just to say it again, shout out to Ilphonic because I loved those games, but I didn't go back to watch the Predator movies. So to come in here and be like, damn, you really fucking nailed what this was. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We didn't even talk about the camouflage effect that much. Andy's
Kicks
right.
ass.
That shit was wild.
It was very
It
impressive.
still looks really fucking cool and unique because it's done optically. Like obviously now they do it digitally, but back then you're just like, how did
Magic,
you do
man.
this?
Movie magic. I now can't wait for next week. Like, what is Predator 2 going to be, everybody? Don't let me know. Don't tweet at me.
Wait,
don't.
Do we do the final? So what is the final ranking?
final rankings are-
I don't have the votes, I know. But.
Yeah, so number one, because me, Greg, and Nick, me, Andy, and Nick have the exact same lists so far. Number one's Aliens. Number two is Predator. And number three is Alien. Starting next week, we will have the rankings up on screen.
I would like to call out that Chris Anka texts me live and says, you're the only one with the correct ranking. So
Interesting.
Yeah, he
I
texted
got
me
the
as
Anka
well.
man. I got
He
the
texted
Anka.
me MP5. 'Cause That's the gun.
Oh.
They're using.
Yeah. Well, you said MP7, MP5.
It's funny how he just won't. He refuses to socialize with Langley or Murders with Mertens in the chats. You know what I mean? Still, he'll text us.
He said Predator's his favorite 80s film, period.
Over Die Hard. Interesting.
Is Die Hard yours?
Yeah, I mean, Die Hard is my favorite action movie of all time. Yeah, I think that's a perfect film. Legit.
Die Hard in review. I don't know what you're
Never
going to do
watched
it,
it.
Andy.
Never
Why won't you
watched
give it to me? You know what I mean? Let us know in the comments below what you thought of Predator. God, I love this set so much. This Jim shot really sells it. So cool. But let us know what you thought about this. Like I was saying, next week we're doing Predator 2. And in a couple weeks for Screencast, we'll be doing Daredevil Born Again episodes 1 and 2. Very exciting stuff. Of course, we have Last of Us April 13th. We finally got the release date for that, so we'll be there for that as well. And then upcoming movies. Like I actually, let me do a real quick check. I want to see what the next in theater movie we're going to be reviewing is, because I think it's going to be quite a while. The next one is Thunderbolts.
Whoa.
Oh, when is
Yeah.
that? I thought that
May
was soon.
5th.
Oh, wow, that's a lot further away than I
Yeah,
thought.
May 5th. So very, very interesting
Finally
stuff.
watched that trailer. when
Unless
we
Fast
were-
10 Part 2 actually comes out on April 4th, 2025. But something tells me it's not going to.
I did enjoy that Thunderbolts trailer when we.
It's a good trailer.
That's not even the one I'm talking about.
Oh, really?
You need to watch the Super Bowl one.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When that started playing in theaters, I was like, oh, Andy's going to think this is the one. Still a good trailer. But the other one, even
Yeah,
better.
the newer one fucking kicks ass.
Until next time, I love you all.
Have a marvelous day. No.
Gets the topper.